Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook. As a Quasi-Emperor at the beginning, I activate the sign in system of the heavens. Chapter 41. When the Emperor self-destructed, even Shu Chengqing's cave trembled. One of the caves even stopped rotating. He looked at the few drops of blood flowing down his arm. The Emperor's self-destruction still caused some damage to him. But this injury was insignificant to Shu Chengqing. He looked at the last Tianyuan Emperor again. He was extremely weak and was stepping into the mysterious 10-star high-dimensional universe with some Tianyuan quasi-emperors. Want to run. All kinds of thunder and calamity bombarded Shu Chengqing's body, but he didn't care at all. Shu Chengqing suddenly took action again, causing the entire black celestial body to tremble. No, an attack at the level of an emperor is likely to cause chaos in time and space, and we may enter other planes under the heavenly realm. The quasi-emperors of Tianyuan were extremely decisive and once again blew up all the power of their laws. In the end, only the weak Emperor Tuosin and the last few quasi-emperors entered the space tunnel. Shu Chengqing originally wanted to continue taking action, but found that his body could not move, and the blue thunder in the sky had turned purple. It's as if heaven is angry. No one has ever been distracted and chased and killed others when they became enlightened. This is disrespectful to heaven. This person must not be allowed to become emperor. Shu Chengqing looked at the disappeared space tunnel and could only give up temporarily. In his opinion, the remaining Emperor Tianyuan and several quasi-emperors were just lost dogs and not worthy of his care. The only pity is that the power of world law in Emperor Tianyuan was not used by him. Otherwise, the Emperor's tribulation he has now overcome can be called the Emperor's tribulation. But now, this enlightenment tribulation can only be called the Dao Zun tribulation. That's all, let me play with this Emperor tribulation. Boundless purple thunder emerged from the distant sky. Even Shu Chengqing didn't know the origin of the purple thunder. This kind of Daoist tribulation, even if an ordinary emperor comes, he will die. The quasi-emperors of the original Holy Land crumbled in the original world, looking at the great emperor's tribulation in fear. Any purple thunder was enough to kill the powerful men of the quasi-emperor's 9th level. However, their holy master Shu Chengqing didn't seem to care. In the eyes of everyone, Shu Chengqing did not passively deal with the disaster, but faced it head-on. Each time the purple thunder struck, the frequency was as high as hundreds of millions of times. However, Shu Chengqing laughed loudly in midair and flew into the depths of the universe. There were lightning and thunder on his body, the 8 caves above his head were rotating violently, and countless thunder tribulations followed his caves and began to erode Shu Chengqing's soul. The heaven-suppressing bell appeared from Shu Chengqing's side, and with a clang, all thunder tribulations were temporarily pressed on the pause button. Shu Chengqing suddenly jumped up, using the great law in his hands to tear apart all kinds of divine light, thunder, and law. A whole thundercloud the size of a star field above his head was directly torn apart by Shu Chengqing. The great emperor's calamity gradually dissipated, as if he had succumbed to Shu Chengqing's power and domineering power. Everyone watched with excitement and cheered. However, the quasi-emperors of the original Holy Land still looked solemn. The tribulation of becoming an emperor is not that simple, not to mention that what Shu Chengqing has to overcome is the tribulation of the Daoist Lord. Sure enough, the entire universe was in turmoil again. Lightning flashed, the heaven and earth rioted, and countless vast celestial bodies turned into thunderclouds. The sea of thunder was vast, and the shadows of various powerful ancient emperors flashed in the thunderclouds. The quasi-emperors of the original Holy Land were shocked. Those phantoms of the ancient emperors are all the emperors of the original world. They have now become the guardians of heaven. Do they want to prevent the Evergreen Holy Lord from becoming emperor? Everyone's scalp was numb. In the figures of these ancient emperors, they saw the faces of the former emperors of the original Holy Land. It's just that their faces were expressionless, and every shadow went straight towards Shu Chengqing, not knowing this junior at all. Each phantom exhibits the terrifying law of the great, and there are dozens of such phantoms in total. Shu Chengqing was calm and undaunted, and all the power of the great law of the Great Way spread out to meet these former ancient emperors. The sky and the earth roared, tens of thousands of thunder seas were added, chaotic world-destroying thunder, and the power of various emperor laws rushed towards Shu Chengqing. Shu Chengqing's body exploded in an instant, and then continued to reorganize. This process was repeated over and over again. However, with every reorganization, his 8 caves are getting closer and closer to perfection. The calamity of the great emperor continued, and everyone who saw it was standing tall, but there was nothing they could do to help Xu Changqing. Thousands of riots broke out, and in the end, the whole world exploded. The phantoms of the ancient emperors gradually dissipated, and all the laws of the great world poured into Xu Changqing's cave. Xu Changqing's cave sky rotated faster and faster, and the powerful power of law blasted open the gates of 10,000 ways. At this moment, the whole world stopped. 10,000 rays of light blast the Tao body, and at this moment Xu Changqing's 8 caves reached the state of perfection. In the original world, everyone's ears were echoing with deafening sounds. From today on, I am the Daoist master and the great emperor of the great Tao. The big world of the restricted area, the hidden dragon's nest in the dark restricted area. In the hidden dragon's nest, a certain dark lord who had been sleeping for thousands of years suddenly raised his head and looked into the air in horror. A huge whirlpool emerged, and the entire world was distorted. Then, the bodies of 5 alien creatures and an unknown body of terrifying consciousness appeared. They looked embarrassed, with fear in their eyes, but the laws of the great world on their bodies were completely incompatible with the forbidden world. The Dark Lord's face suddenly darkened, and his body reached midair in a blink of an eye. Who are you? How dare you break into the restricted area of the hidden dragon's nest? As his words fell, the 5 alien creatures finally came to their senses. This is no longer the world of Tianyuan. Have we finally gotten rid of those terrible humans? No, this is not the heavenly world either. The power of the laws of the great Tao is not as powerful as the original world. It seems to be a subordinate plane of the heavenly world, and the laws of the world are lower than those of the original world and the abyss. These people are the Tianyuan god generals who narrowly escaped from the Tianyuan world. At this moment, they are reborn after the disaster. Suddenly, a giant hand covering the sky appeared in front of them. If you break into my hidden dragon's nest without permission, no matter who you are, please become my nourishment. I, Emperor Qianlong, became enlightened 50,000 years ago. It is your blessing to die in my hands. However, soon, Emperor Qianlong looked horrified, his entire body could not move, and his expression became extremely frightening. You alone can call yourself the Great Emperor. One of the Tianyuan divine generals has reached the level of Quasi-Emperor 9th level. With just a slight squeeze, Emperor Qianlong's laws of the Great Tao were distorted and he could not even achieve the ultimate sublimation. Then Emperor Qianlong screamed again, and the great law of the body was absorbed by the unknown and terrifying consciousness. This conscious body is none other than Tianyuan Emperor Tuosin, who was almost killed by Xu Changqing. At this moment, he no longer even has the ability to condense his body. But when he reaches the level of the Great Emperor, he can still recover as long as he is given enough laws of the Great Tao. Emperor Tuosin said, "Let us stay in this world for the time being. Although this world is relatively low level, it still has a lot of secrets. We will make plans after the Emperor recovers. This hidden dragon's nest will be our new home. The other 2 or 3 sleeping guys will be killed and given to the Emperor as nourishment." Outside the original world, Xu Changqing was sitting cross-legged in the starry sky of the universe. The 8 caves retracted into his body, and everything returned to calm. But at this moment, Xu Changqing is already the real Jidao Emperor, known as Daoist Master. However, Xu Changqing still felt a little regretful in his heart. He could have reached the Emperor level in one step, but it was a pity that he did not absorb the laws of the last 2 great emperors. According to the records of the original Holy Land, the Jidao Emperor was also strong and weak. Divided into beginner, intermediate, advanced, and finally Dzogchen. The great perfection level Jidao Emperor, which is the true Emperor level, is at the highest level of the Emperor and is only one step away from the immortal level. And Xu Changqing, who has 8 caves, is now at the intermediate Daoist level. His strength is at least comparable to 20 ordinary emperors, and his lifespan reaches 600,000 years. But according to common sense, if he wants to reach the level of Dzogchen, which is the realm of the emperor, the years of cultivation must be recorded in 10,000 years. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the Tianyuan world mission. The realm has been improved by 1 level, and the reward is 50 points of world value. The voice of the system emerged in Shu Chengqing's mind, and in just a moment, the great law of Shu Chengqing surged again. The realm has been improved by 1 level, and his strength is at least comparable to 50 ordinary emperors. His lifespan has reached 800,000 years. He has directly reached the late stage of Dao Zun at this moment, and is only 1 step away from Emperor Zun. No one knew that in just this short period of time, Shu Chengqing's strength would skyrocket again. At this moment, dozens of figures flew in from a short distance away. It is the people of the original Great World. All the quasi-emperors in the original Holy Land looked excited and bowed to Shu Chengqing. Meet Chengqing Daoist Master. Unexpectedly, after 200,000 years, someone from their original Holy Land would become the Great Emperor again, and he would directly break through to the Daoist level. It was truly like a dream. Among the crowd, Tian Yangzi, Su Qingshe, Su Tianj, Zhang Kong and others all showed great pride. Shu Chengqing stood up and pointed toward the sky, and the original world in the distant space suddenly spread. Although the land of Tianyuan is destroyed, the laws of the world that were originally assimilated have been purified by me. Now that the original world has merged with the Tianyuan land again, and the world's laws have been perfected, it will be much easier for you to become an emperor or break through to the 9th level of Quasi-Emperor. The entire original world continued to spread, gradually covering the previous land of Tianyuan, returning to the way it was 200,000 years ago. More importantly, the world laws in the original world have finally returned to normal, which means that someone can become an emperor. The 2 ancestors Yuanyang and Shutai suddenly felt the power of the world's laws rushing towards their bodies, and then they actually began to form a new cave sky. The 2 were immediately overjoyed. They had practiced for hundreds of thousands of years and had accumulated enough. However, because the original world did not have enough power of world laws, they were unable to break through. But now, according to this trend, they can accumulate the power of the world's laws in a few years, start to overcome the Great Emperor's tribulation, and they can also become the Great Emperor. Thank you, Evergreen Daoist Master, we will never forget it. They both bowed to Shu Chengqing, the gratitude on their faces beyond words. But Shu Chengqing looked at his master Tianyangzi. Master, do you want to become an emperor? Tianyangzi was slightly startled, of course he thought about it. But in fact, even if the power of the world laws of the original world returns to normal, it will be difficult for him to become emperor in his lifetime. Compared to the 2 ancestors Yuanyang and Chu Tai, his talent is not high, otherwise he would not have been trapped in the 6th level of the Quasi-Emperor for many years. Master, there are 2 ancestors, I will help you condense the laws of the world. Tianyangzi and others hurriedly waved their hands. Chengqing, I don't want your world laws, you can keep them for yourself. Although they want to become emperor, they don't want Shu Chengqing to consume his power of world law. Even if he is a Daoist, the power of world law is extremely precious. Shu Chengqing's expression remained unchanged, and he stretched out his hand to grab a certain void fault. In the midst of everyone's horror, the big hand covering the sky seemed to scratch through the void, revealing several horrified human figures inside. The auras of these figures are extremely powerful. 6 of them have reached the level of Quasi-Emperor 8th heaven or above, and one of them is actually a great emperor. However, at this moment, several people were in extreme horror. Even the great emperor burst out with all the power of the laws of the Great Avenue, and even the emperor's soldiers were used together. However, in Shu Chengqing's big hands that covered the sky, all the attacks were wiped out. They were dragged by the big hands like little chickens and appeared in front of everyone in the original world. Everyone in the Shuangguang world, you have been watching for so long, do you think I really didn't notice it? Shu Chengqing revealed the identities of several people, which immediately shocked everyone in the original world. These people are actually from the Shuangguang world. The faces of the people in the original Holy Land suddenly turned gloomy. Many powerful men in the original Holy Land 200,000 years ago died in the hands of the great world of Shuangguang. Their original world and the Shuangguang world have an unforgettable hatred. The great emperor of the Shuangguang world probably didn't come to the original world for tourism. If it weren't for Shu Chengqing, these people would have turned the original Holy Land upside down. Everyone in the Shuangguang world accepted the invitation of Luojia immortal sect and attempted to cross the Tianyuan land to directly destroy the entire original Holy Land. With the strength of a few of them, maybe they can actually do it. However, when they witnessed Xu Chengqing destroy Tianyuan, kill Emperor Tianyuan, and survive the Dao Zun tribulation, everyone huddled in a small space, not daring to move for fear of being discovered by Xu Chengqing. But unexpectedly, they couldn't hide Xu Chengqing, who became Daoist master. This fellow Daoist, I am Luoji, the great emperor of the Shuangguang world. I am here this time to seek peace on behalf of the Shuangguang world. Before he finished speaking, the power of the great law of the world was directly stripped away by the world tree saplings, and then floated into Yuanyang, Shutai and Tianyangzi. The power of the world law of the three people skyrocketed. The first is Yuanyang and Shutai. They only absorbed a small part and caused the disaster of the emperor. The rest of the great emperor's laws were absorbed by Tianyangzi, and his strength soared from the Quasi-Emperor's 6th heaven, and then directly reached the Quasi-Emperor's 9th heaven, great perfection. As soon as the Quasi-Emperor disaster was formed, it was disrupted by Xu Chengqing's terrifying aura. At the same time, the followers of Emperor Luoji also exploded, and the laws of the Great Avenue also poured into Tianyangzi's body. Lord Daoist, Lord of the original Holy Land, please spare my life, we are innocent. Don't be complacent. In my great world of Shuangguang, there are many powerful people at the Daoist level. You are doomed. My world of Shuangguang is much more powerful than it was 200,000 years ago. Your original Holy Land will definitely be completely destroyed. The sky and the earth roared. Yuanyang, Shutai, and Tianyangzi all faced their respective disasters at the same time. Heaven and earth once again ushered in the calamity of the great emperor, and it was a third-level calamity. These three thunder tribulations were originally going to be intertwined, and the degree of danger increased significantly. With the strength of these three people, they simply could not survive, and they would probably die. But at this moment, Xu Chengqing pointed one hand and divided the three people's calamity into three parts. The rest of the time is up to them. Xu Chengqing's move was already against the laws of heaven, taking advantage of the loopholes in the laws of heaven to forcibly create a powerful emperor. The three of them each rushed towards their own great emperor's calamity, and the power of various laws spread across the starry sky. Everyone looked horrified. Are three more people in their original Holy Land about to become emperors? Not only that, the former Quasi-Emperor of the Shuangguang world was also deprived of the power of law by Xu Chengqing, thus entering the body of the Quasi-Emperor of the original Holy Land. Their combat power at the Quasi-Emperor level of the original Holy Land has increased sharply. And all this is thanks to Xu Chengqing. The calamity of the great emperor gradually dissipated, and Yuanyang, Shutai and Tianyangzi were almost exhausted. In Xu Chengqing's eyes, the great emperor's tribulation was nothing, but to others, the emperor's tribulation was extremely dangerous. Fortunately, the three people in the original Holy Land finally survived the tribulation of becoming emperors. Their bodies were covered with thousands of rays of light, and the rich power of the world's laws formed a complete cave. Three more great emperors were born in the original Holy Land. Congratulations to the host. The original world has been promoted to the 8-star level. The host will be rewarded with 50 points of world value and 3 elixirs. Note: the main world where the host is located is promoted, and the host can get additional rewards. Xu Chengqing's eyes narrowed slightly. Because of him, the Daoist master, and the several great emperors who had just broken through, the original world was promoted from the 8-star junior world to the 8-star advanced world. And also rewarded the elixir. This elixir has only one effect, which is to break through the shackles of longevity and increase lifespan by millions of years. Even a pig can practice to the level of a great emperor. According to legend, the elixir was developed by true immortals using true immortal laws. It evolved over countless years. Countless powerful emperors whose lifespan was about to end were all eager to find an elixir. For Xu Chengqing, the function of this elixir is temporarily unavailable, but he now has a long life. However, the elixir contains true immortal laws, and perhaps he can use the world tree to extract it. Congratulations to the three ancestors for their breakthrough. The people in the original Holy Land were excited again, and the three newly promoted emperors bowed their hands to Xu Chengqing. Although Xu Chengqing is their junior, the kindness of helping him and others break through the great emperor cannot be described in words. Chongqing, we have to beware of the great world of Zhongguang. The death of Emperor Luoji cannot be concealed for long. The original world is no longer closed. The Shuangguang world and the original world are two separate worlds, but the distance between them is still very far. A strong person as far as the Great Emperor level also needs to fly for a month, separated by a chaotic sea of space composed of turbulent flow of time and space. Strong people under the Great Sage will die or be injured when crossing the sea of space. Even the divine consciousness at the Daoist level cannot directly see the current situation of the original world. In a short period of time, people in the Shuangguang world will not be able to know everything that happened in the original world. But there is not much time left for the original world. If Shuangguang Zhengzong knows that the original Holy Land is recovering, he will definitely spare no effort to destroy the original world. According to Emperor Loji's memory, in the battle 200,000 years ago, Shuangguang world not only survived, but its strength also increased by leaps and bounds. System: spend 5 points of world value to check the situation of Shuangguang world. Xu Chengqing directly spent 5 points of world value, and then the situation of Shuangguang world appeared in his mind. Ding! The Shuangguang Great World is the 9-star primary Great World, ranking 153rd among the 3,000 Great Worlds. 9-star primary world. Xu Chengqing's expression condensed. 200,000 years ago, the original world was the 9-star early world, but it could resist the 3 worlds of Shuangguang, Tianting, and Yunfen. 200,000 years later, the Shuangguang world grew into the 9-star primary world, while the original world fell to the 8-star primary world. Until now, the original world has taken back the land of Tianyuan, and 4 powerful men above the Great Emperor, including himself, have appeared, so the world level has recovered somewhat. But it is still far from the 9-star world. This Shuangguang world must have more than one powerful person at the Emperor level. Suddenly, Xu Chengqing focused on a piece of information again. Shuangguang Great World ranks 153rd among the 3,000 Great Worlds. 3,000 Great Worlds. As the Holy Lord of the original Holy Land, he is not very familiar with these 3,000 worlds. Yuan Yang, Chu Tai, 2 ancestors, what are the 3,000 worlds? Yuan Yang and Chu Tai have now become great emperors, exuding terrifying law fluctuations from their movements. Hearing Xu Chengqing mention the 3,000 worlds, the two of them suddenly looked solemn. It's normal for you, the younger generation, not to know that the 3,000 great worlds, after all, the original great world has been closed for 200,000 years. But outside the original world, there is not only Shuangguang, but also countless other worlds. These worlds are divided into countless small worlds, 100,000 worlds, and 3,000 large worlds. Everyone looked horrified. They didn't expect that the universe outside the original world was so vast. It is obvious that their original big world belongs to one of the 3,000 worlds, superior to countless middle thousand worlds and small world planes. 3,000 worlds, 200,000 years ago, I was ranked 168th in the original world. Speaking of this, Patriarch Yuanyang looked proud, but then he lost his temper. The current primordial world is estimated to be ranked outside the 1,000th place. Xu Chengqing looked thoughtful, wondering if his hometown Blue Star belonged to this universe. In addition to the small world, the middle 1,000 world, and the 3,000 big world. Patriarch Yuanyang paused for a moment before pointing his finger upward. On top of the 3,000 worlds, there is the supreme immortal world of Taichu. It is the ultimate goal of all practitioners. Even our universe is called the Taichu universe. Taichu immortal realm. Everyone, including Xu Chengqing, looked startled. Xu Chengqing even compared the Taichu immortal realm with the 10-star high-dimensional universe where Emperor Tianyuan went before. The two must be on the same level. It can be called a large universe by the system, and its level is at least 10 stars. Taichu immortal world. The original world is not unfamiliar to people, but it is too far away for them. Yuan Yang took a deep look at Xu Chengqing at this moment. My original Holy Land has been passed down for millions of years. It is said that the first-generation Holy Master achieved the status of an immortal millions of years ago, and then broke the void and went to the Taichu immortal realm. Chengqing, if you can obtain a large amount of liquid immortal energy, you may have a chance to become a true immortal. As for becoming a true immortal, our original world will definitely not be afraid of the Shuangguang world. We can even rank at the top of the 3,000 worlds, which will bring huge benefits. In Yuan Yang's view, it is only a matter of time before Xu Chengqing becomes the emperor. But becoming a true immortal is still out of reach. In the realm of true immortals, one can live for more than 1,000,000 years, and can even reverse the life and death of others, turn the world upside down, and is omnipotent. At this moment, the two ancestors Yuan Yang and Chu Tai looked at each other, and then joined forces to shield the entire space. Yuan Yang took out a simple black key and then threw it to Shu Changqing, making the latter a little confused. 200,000 years ago, the Yuan Qing Emperor in my original Holy Land also had his own opportunity. This key is called the Key of the Mysterious Lady. With this key, you can open up a huge treasure somewhere in the 3,000 worlds. According to legend, it is the place where a great figure in the fairy world fell. An Emperor Yuanqing once entered one of the treasure caves through this key and obtained a lot of liquid immortal energy. The key to the mysterious female. Liquid immortality. However, the mission from the Forbidden World appeared in Shu Changqing's mind. Go to the Forbidden World to sign in at the Ancient Era, break through the first level, and get 3 bottles of liquid fairy energy. Shu Changqing calmed down. Now he has a full 200 world points and can start entering the Forbidden World. 1. Enter the current era of the restricted world and sign in at any dark restricted area. 100 world points will be consumed and the host will be rewarded with the ultimate emperor weapon Yun Tiansuo and 50 world points. 2. Enter the Forbidden World of the Ancient Era, sign in at Shichao village where Emperor Shi Tiandi was a child, consume 200 world points, and reward the host to advance to a higher realm and 3 bottles of liquid fairy energy. When he enters the Forbidden World, he can have the above 2 options. Shu Changqing made up his mind and went directly to the Ancient Era of Chaos in the Forbidden World. Going to the Ancient Era would allow him to advance to the Emperor level, and he would also be able to obtain liquid immortal energy, which might allow him to comprehend the complete true immortal law. Become a true immortal in one fell swoop. Note: at the end of the Ancient Era of the Forbidden World, the normal level was the 8-star Advanced World, and the strongest ones corresponded to the powerful emperors of the original world. Shu Changqing narrowed his eyes. This Forbidden World in the chaotic Ancient Era is not dangerous, but the system prompts that there may be something abnormal. But Shu Changqing is not too worried. As long as he completes the sign-in task, he will become the emperor immediately. The two ancestors, as well as Master, place the Mirror of Nothingness above the boundary sea to monitor the movements of the Shuangguang world at all times. Shu Changqing has not forgotten the Shuangguang world. When he returns from the restricted world, it will be the day when the Shuangguang world is destroyed. The other 3 emperors did not say much. They knew that Shu Changqing must have a big secret, otherwise how could he achieve the position of Daoist master with 300 years of Taoism? The 3 of them didn't ask any questions. The stronger Shu Changqing was, the luckier it would be for the original world. When necessary, they would use their lives to protect the current secrets. But Shu Changqing did not go to the restricted world immediately. He still needed to consolidate the great emperor's law, and he also needed to settle down Shu's family. At this moment, there are more than 60 Shu family members who are going to the original world with Shu Changqing. Of course, more Shu family members stay in the Blue Star universe. Shu Changqing respects their choice. With the arrival of the Shu family, all the forces and families in the entire original world sensed an unusual opportunity. Everyone rushed to make offerings to the Shu family. Suddenly, the Shu family became a hot favorite in the original world. Of course, all the Shu family members, including Shu Wenbin, Shu Ligyu and Shu Qian, know that all this glory comes from their ancestors. Therefore, they are also practicing desperately, hoping to climb up in the shortest time without embarrassing their ancestors. After Shu Changqing settled everything, he left the 2 puppets of the great emperor in the original world. Even if something unexpected happened and he left the jade slip for communication with Su Qingshe, he would still be able to get back in time. After everything was completed, a huge space-time vortex emerged again in the starry sky of the universe. But this time, it is Shu Changqing's journey alone. The Forbidden World, the lower wilderness. Deep in the primitive jungle, fear arose, and a young couple carried a 3-year-old child toward the distance. Where are the remnants of the Stone Clan fleeing? Many masked monks gathered from all directions and forced themselves towards the young couple. Shi Zilin and his wife are the peerless geniuses of the Stone Clan in the wasteland. If they can be killed, it will be equivalent to killing a big helper of the Stone Clan. Haha, Shizilin, I heard that your son was going to die after someone dug out the supreme bones. I'm really happy. The face of the young man and the young couple suddenly turned ugly. Why are you staring at us? It's not like we dug up your son's bones. You're a loser. You worked hard for the Stone Clan, but your son was deprived of his foundation by the tribe. You don't even dare to fart. Shizilin trembled all over, as if he had been poked in some painful spot. You are all going to die. The scene turned again, and a young couple covered in blood stood on the edge of a deserted village, both of them smiling slightly. This is the ancestral land of the Stone Clan. It is said that there are some strange methods that can delay the life of one's son. Seniors, I leave the little stone to you. I'm going to find the holy medicine, hoping to save the little stone. They fostered the unconscious 3-year-old child in a village and then hurriedly left again. The village was full of ordinary people who were not yet practicing. At this moment, someone pouted at Shizilin's back. If my son's bones were dug up, I wouldn't care about the Stone Clan, I would have wiped out that person's entire family long ago. Poor little Shido, he's only 3 years old. A woman in the village quickly picked up the 3-year-old child. When she saw that his face was pale and his breathing was weak, her heart suddenly melted. Looking at the scars on the child's chest, everyone looked angry. What a crazy person to dig out the sternum of a 3-year-old child. An insider sighed slightly. The name of the supreme bone is too great, and there are always some greedy beasts. We can't control the internal affairs of the Stone Clan. The main question now is, how do we save the little stone? Everyone frowned. No 3-year-old naughty child in the wilderness is capable of carrying a cauldron and is lawless. This little stone has been dug out of the supreme bone and will not survive for long. As for what Shizilin said about finding the holy medicine, no one gave him any hope. Shizilin is very famous in the wilderness, but after leaving the wilderness, who would recognize him? Let's feed the little stone animal milk first. Maybe he will come back to life. People in Shichao village usually take care of themselves when they get sick, and this is their only method now. Suddenly, someone had an idea. Did you forget about pharmacist Shu? Over the years, we in Shichao village have benefited from his kindness. Yes, Dazwang's leg was bitten off by that bear last time. Finally, Yao Shishu put a pair of ointments on it and it will be fine. Mr. Shu has great magical powers. Maybe he has some secret skills. Let's go and carry the little stone to Medicine Master Shu. The pharmacist Shu in Shichao village had a mysterious origin and suddenly appeared in the barren mountain area 3 years ago. At the beginning, the villages including Shichao village were wary of this outsider. However, in successive contacts, Shu Yaoshi saved many people nearby and won the favor of many people. Moreover, Shu Yaoshi lives alone dozens of miles away from Shichao village, but no accidents have happened in the past 3 years. This is a barren mountain with countless terrifying birds and beasts. If you are not careful, the beasts will eat you. But Yao Shishu is still alive and well, which shows that Yao Shishu himself is an extremely powerful practitioner. The old village head of Shichao village waved his hand, and a group of people rushed to a quiet place dozens of miles away with small stones. Surrounded by high mountains, flowing water, and steep mountains, it is logically extremely dangerous. But in the small courtyard not far away, it was extremely quiet. After everyone arrived at the place, they suddenly became very cautious. The old village chief looked respectful and moved forward to knock on the courtyard door. The head of Shichao village wants to see pharmacist Shu. After the old village chief knocked on the door, he retreated to one side. After a while, a dull voice sounded. The door is unlocked, please come in. The old village chief and several other strong men from Shichao village looked at each other and carried the little stone in. What came into view was a young man in a green gown playing with his saplings in the yard. The young man was holding a water ladle in his hand, and the fragrant liquid was sprinkled on the saplings more than 1 meter high. Mr. Shu, please save these poor children, please. We are willing to pay Shichao village 2 months of hunting income. 2 months of prey means that Shichao village has to live in a pinch. All the villagers in Shichao village looked pleading. And the young man finally put down the instrument in his hand, and looked at the unconscious child with a pair of eyes that no one could see through. The Daoist laws between his fingers kept twisting and turning, and his eyes finally started to fluctuate. Is this the Emperor Shi Tian of the ancient era? After waiting for 3 years, he finally appeared. This young man was naturally Shu Chengqing, who came to the Forbidden World in the ancient era, but what he didn't expect was that the system sign in task played a trick on him. Please host go to Xichao village, where Emperor Shi Tiandi was a child in the ancient era of chaos in the Forbidden World, to sign in. Through his own Dao law, he has calculated the sign in location and the location of Xichao village. But when he found Xichao village, the sign in task was not completed. Emperor Shi Tian was young. If this 3-year-old baby is Emperor Shi Tian, then I can complete the system sign in task now. Shu Chengqing took a deep breath, but soon the system voice came to his mind again. The mission of the ancient era has begun. 1. If the host stays in the ancient era for 30 years, the host will be rewarded with 20 bottles of liquid immortal energy and 50 points of world value. 2. The host has left his own traces in the long river of time in the ancient era. The host will be rewarded with 5 bottles of liquid immortal energy, and he will transform into the Supreme Immortal Sutra. Note: this task can be triggered multiple times, and the rewards are variable each time. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Do you want him to stay in the ancient era for decades? Shu Chengqing retracted his complicated emotions, and then pointed to the 3-year-old child. Put him down, and after 3 days, I will personally send him back to Xichao village intact. If there are no accidents, he will be able to complete the sign in task in 3 days and become a powerful person at the emperor level. And the strong men at the emperor level are absolutely invincible in this wilderness, and even in the 9 heavens and 10 lands of the upper realm of the wilderness. The people in Xichao village suddenly showed expressions of surprise, and they quickly said, "How dare you trouble Medicine Master Shu to deliver the small stones in person? We can just pick them up ourselves." Shu Chengqing smiled. "Why don't you welcome me, old village chief? I miss the barbecue in Xichao village very much." The old village chief of Xichao village suddenly blushed, nodded repeatedly, and then everyone retreated. No one in Xichao village doubted Shu Chengqing's ability, or that Shu Chengqing would do anything wrong with Xiao Shido. In the past 3 years, Shu Chengqing has won the trust of the villagers in Xichao village, and no one will doubt him. After everyone left, Shu Chengqing looked at the 3-year-old child on the ground. In the introduction to the system, Shu Chengqing knew that this child would become the invincible Stone Emperor. At this level, he didn't know how to compare it with the level of the original world or even the Taichu immortal world. After coming to this chaotic ancient era, Shu Chengqing gradually understood the world. This world is divided into 8 realms in the lower realm and 9 heavens and 10 lands in the upper realm. The Forbidden World includes the lower realm and the upper realm. The strongest person should be comparable to the ordinary Great Emperor in the original Great World. However, after Shu Chengqing inquired about it, he found out that there is a legendary fairyland above the 9 heavens and 10 earths, which is called the Heavenly Realm. This reminded Shu Chengqing of the black star that Emperor Tianyuan was connected to, that terrifying existence that was rated as a 10-star high-dimensional universe by the system. The title of Emperor Shishan not only resounds throughout the entire Forbidden World, but also the Heavenly Realm is arbitrary for all eternity. This shows that the 3-year-old child in front of him will be at least a super powerful person above the level of true immortal in the future. Even if it is placed in the Taichu universe where the original world is located, it is probably a top existence. But now, Shu Chengqing looked at his wrinkled face in pain, looking like he was about to die, and could not connect him with a big shot like Emperor Shi Tian. Shu Chengqing carefully inspected his injuries. With Shu Chengqing's Daoist level strength, it was not easy to save someone. It's just that the young Shi Tiandi had his supreme bones dug out and his chance cut off. It's really not an easy thing to fully recover in this world. Shu Chengqing smiled slightly, scooped out the fragrant liquid from the water ladle, and then put it into Xiao Shitu's mouth. With just a few drops, Xiao Shitu's complexion improved at a speed visible to the naked eye. The wounds on his chest healed instantly, and new substances were even faintly produced again. This liquid is actually the medicinal soup prepared by Shu Chengqing from the elixir of life, which is used to support the growth of World Tree. Yes, the 1-meter-long sapling in front of Shu Chengqing is the incomplete immortal weapon World Tree sapling. The elixir of life is essentially formed using the laws of the true immortal, and if World Tree wants to grow, the power of ordinary world laws is no longer enough. So Shu Chengqing fed the World Tree with this diluted elixir. In the past 3 years, the world tree seedlings have grown a lot again, with flowers blooming and even fruits about to take shape. Suddenly, the branch in front of Shu Changqing suddenly stretched out, trying to pull back the water scoop in Shu Changqing's hand, as if he didn't want his things to fall into the hands of others. Shu Changqing smiled in astonishment. You little thing, you are so stingy. I have been feeding you for 3 years. Isn't it okay to give others a few drops? Immortal weapons and Daoist weapons are completely 2 levels of things. Immortal weapons will give birth to immortal weapons and spirits inside them, possessing perfect consciousness that is obedient to the host. In the end, even the physical body will possess it and become extremely powerful. The consciousness of the current world tree artifact spirit has gradually grown, but its consciousness is just like that of a 3-year-old human child. Shu Changqing looked at Xiao Shishi, whose breathing had calmed down, and placed him in the bedroom. Instead, he continued to irrigate the world tree with the elixir of life. 2 days passed in the blink of an eye, and the fruits on the world tree saplings had turned red. With a snap, it fell down and was caught by Shu Changqing. Irrigating the world tree is not only to make him stronger, but also for the sake of the true immortal Tao fruit. Now Shu Changqing, the power of world law in his body has basically reached saturation. Even if there is no systemic effect, he will become a strong man at the emperor level in the original time, 100 years later. If you want to get closer to the emperor level, you must condense the laws of immortality. The laws of immortality come from liquid immortal energy, or the true immortality fruit condensed from the world tree. Shu Changqing swallowed the true immortal Tao fruit in one gulp. At the same time, within his body, the 8 caves continued to rotate, and countless Tao laws were intertwined. At this moment, there was a special law condensed. At this moment, in Shu Changqing's mind, a vast world appeared. Between the heaven and the earth, there were rare and exotic beasts everywhere. Countless stars in the universe appear between the heaven and the earth, and countless immortal caves exist between the heaven and the earth. This immortal law comes from the Taichu universe. But soon, Shu Changqing's eyes were brought back to reality again. This true immortal Tao fruit is not enough for him to understand the complete immortal Tao law, and he cannot observe the complete Taichu immortal world. However, Shu Changqing waved his fingers, and a trace of white immortal law was condensed by him. It contained the law of destruction and life and death, which was enough to kill any powerful person at the Daoist level. His strength has increased again. Even if he faces Emperor Zun, Shu Changqing is not afraid at all now. Suddenly, Shu Changqing woke up. In his sight, a child wearing crotchless pants was swaying left and right, teasing the world tree seedlings. One person and one tree had a great time playing. Shu Changqing realized the laws of immortality for a moment, and a day and a night had passed. The 3-year-old child seemed to feel Shu Changqing waking up, and quickly turned his head and became happy. Dad, are you awake? Shu Changqing's forehead is bulging with black lines. Who is your father? Don't talk nonsense, I'm not your father. The 3-year-old Shi Tiandi suddenly looked disappointed. He had not seen his parents since he was born. It seemed that only when he was seriously ill, he could vaguely feel his parents holding him. But now when I wake up, I only see this handsome uncle, and I think he is my father. Xiao Shido followed suit and raised his hand to Shu Changqing. Thank you, uncle, for saving your life. A small stone will surely pay off in big ways. His expression was serious, his bones had been dug out, and he knew how serious his condition was. The uncle in front of him must have paid a huge price to save him. It's just that I still have nothing, so I can only plot to repay him later. Shu Changqing didn't say anything more, but waved his hand. Let's go to Shichao village. Xiao Shido asked questions along the way, which reminded Shu Changqing of his nephew Shu Wenbin. Even the emperor couldn't stop the naughty child from asking questions. Uncle Shu, your tree is so powerful. He seems to be able to understand what I say. Uncle Shu, what's your name? My name is Shi Tianao. Uncle Shu, can you teach me how to practice? I want to go to my parents when I grow up. ... The two chatted one after another until they approached Shichao village, when Shu Changqing stopped. At this time, Shichao village seemed to be in some trouble. Dozens of people from other villages surrounded the entire Shichao village. When they saw Shu Changqing's arrival, they immediately became wary. Kill them. Wait, this is Medicine Master Shu. Someone wanted to kill Shu Changqing and the two, but they were stopped by people from another village. When the old village chief of Shichao village saw the lively little stones, he was immediately pleasantly surprised. But then his expression changed, wondering whether those people would take action against Shu Changqing and the two. The villages surrounding Shichao village were also known to Shu Changqing as the nearby Khan village. The Kangkyun man raised his hand to one of the tall figures and said, "Master Wen, this is pharmacist Shu. He has the ability to heal human bones." Master Wen came from the nearby Dawang city and held a high position. He heard that there were good things in Shichao village, so he sent people to besiege Shichao village. Master Nawan's eyes lit up, saying that this pharmacist Shu also has a lot of treasures. The village chief of Kangkyun chuckled. "Mr. Shu, I once asked you for medicine, but you were rejected. Now you regret it so much." Lord Wen is a strong man at the pinnacle of the third realm. The head of Shichao village, not far away, directly led all the villagers to mobilize. "Kan Shang, Master Shu once saved your life. Is this how you repay him? The village chief of Kangkyun has evil intentions and wants to use Mr. Wen to take away all Shu Changqing's treasures." Shu Changqing's expression remained unchanged. He casually took out a jade talisman and threw it over. This jade talisman was given to him by others when he first entered the chaotic ancient era. Lord Nawan was so frightened that he peed when he saw the jade talisman on it. "This is the exclusive thing of the city lord of Dawang City. How dare you offend such a big shot?" Master Wen kowtowed directly, his forehead banging loudly. Except for the ignorant Xiao Shido, everyone was shocked. Shu Yaoshi's identity is very unusual. Shu Changqing waved his hand. With his strength, he couldn't show any interest in these people. Master Nawan quickly slipped away, and at the same time turned back to look fiercely at the stunned village chief of Kangkyun. "I actually made an enemy of a big shot. This village must be destroyed." The village chief of Kangkyun came back to his senses from the shock, and then he pressed the heads of all the tribesmen and began to kneel down and worship. "Shu Yaoshi, please spare my life. I was just joking." Shu Changqing ignored it. The moment he entered Shichao village, the voice of the system finally sounded in his mind. "Congratulations to the host for completing the sign-in task. As a reward, the host's realm will be improved by 1 level and 3 bottles of liquid fairy energy will be obtained." At this moment, Shu Changqing once again crossed a realm and reached the ultimate level of an emperor, the emperor level. The holes in his body suddenly expanded again and became a complete 15. In addition to the laws of time, space, creation, and heaven, there are also traces of true immortal laws. Generally speaking, a strong person who has just broken through to the emperor level will start with 10 caves, and most people will only have 12 caves when they reach the limit. And as soon as Shu Changqing broke through to the emperor level, he directly condensed 15 cave worlds. The entire lower realm, and even the entire upper realm, all the supreme powerful men in the 9 heavens and 10 earths felt the tremors, and a supreme powerful man was born again in the heaven and earth. Who is it? The aura of such a powerful person is not much worse than that of a true immortal. Can such a powerful person be born in the 9 heavens and 10 earths? All the supreme experts let go of their spiritual consciousness and searched in all directions, but no traces were revealed. And throughout the 9 heavens and 10 earths, every dark restricted area, and every immortal family, all were horrified by the actions of the Supremes. The people in Shichao village and Dawang city in the desolate realm didn't feel anything. Everyone looked at Shu Changqing in horror. They didn't expect that Shu Changqing could scare away the enemy with just a jade talisman. The identity of this pharmacist Shu must be astonishing. "Mr. Shu, thank you for your rescue, and thank you for saving Xiao Shido. I, Shichao village, can't repay you." All the villagers in Shichao village showed gratitude, and then the old village chief gritted his teeth and handed a simple bone inscription directly to Shu Changqing. "This is some kind of bone inscription passed down from my ancestors in Shichao village. I heard that it contains the original bone inscription of great evil. This is what they want to rob. In this world, bone inscriptions are engraved and the mysteries of bone inscriptions are decomposed to achieve the effect of nourishing energy and health. Powerful bone inscriptions have a fatal effect on monks. It's just that the original world where Shu Changqing is located has a completely different practice system from the forbidden world." Shu Changqing smiled slightly. "I don't need this bone inscription, but the little stone may need it. His practice system is incompatible with the monks from the ancient times. Everyone was shocked. Would any monk reject this mysterious bone inscription? Shu Chengqing ignored everyone's surprise and looked deep into Shichao village, where a broken willow tree was covered in charred black. Under Shu Chengqing's gaze, the willow tree seemed to have regained some consciousness, showing a trembling expression. In Shichao village, the most eye-catching thing is the willow tree that is so charred that it looks like it is dead. The old village chief of Shichao village saw Shu Chengqing's gaze and quickly stepped forward to explain. This is the ancestral spirit of our village. It's just that something went wrong and it hasn't recovered for a long time. Shu Chengqing stepped forward. Every time he took a step closer, the willow tree seemed to come alive, and its charred torso was trembling. It seems that he is extremely afraid of the terrifying existence of Shu Chengqing. That's all. I will stay in the ancient era for decades anyway, so I just want to form a good relationship. Shu Chengqing, who became the emperor, went back in no hurry. After becoming the emperor, he obviously felt that he was only one step away from being a true immortal, but this step would normally take more than hundreds of thousands of years. Those 3 bottles of liquid immortal energy were not enough for Shu Chengqing to break through to the level of a true immortal. Even with the help of the world tree, which can continuously produce true immortal fruits, it will take a long time to condense the complete immortal laws. In the Taichu universe, where the original world is located, the only way to become a true immortal is to obtain permission from the Taichu immortal world and receive the initiation of a large amount of liquid immortal energy. Except for those big worlds with stable true immortal inheritance, it is difficult for true immortals to appear in other big worlds, and the original Great World is no exception. Once he returns to the original world, Shu Chengqing has no guarantee that he will be able to find the entrance to the Taichu immortal world and receive the immortal energy initiation. Therefore, Shu Chengqing plans to complete the system tasks in the ancient era and obtain more liquid fairy energy. Little stone, go water the willow tree. Shu Chengqing handed the water gourd in his hand to Xiao Shido. The latter was very excited and jumped towards the old willow tree with the water gourd. There is an altar next to the old willow tree, but Shichao village has not felt the reaction of ancestor worship spirits for a long time. The old village chief and others clutched their chests. Could it be that Medicine Master Shu had a way to resuscitate the spirits of the ancestors? Everyone's eyes widened, watching Xiao Shitu's movements. The small stone sprinkled the fragrant liquid in the water gourd under the roots of the willow altar. The old willow also stopped fearing Shu Chengqing and instead absorbed the essence of the liquid with all its strength. This liquid, which belongs to the elixir of life, has been diluted many times, otherwise the immortal law contained in it will directly cause the weak to die suddenly. But now, under the debugging of Shu Chengqing, it is more powerful than any holy medicine. The charred old willow tree suddenly fluttered in the wind, and several willow branches suddenly grew on his body. They were full of green and hung down like shining divine chains. Alive? Is the ancestor sacrifice spirit really alive? Everyone was surprised and couldn't believe it. The old village head directly led all the villagers to bow in the direction of Shu Chengqing. There are no words to express my gratitude. The charred willow tree also stretched out a willow branch and hung down like a human being, as if it was also grateful to Shu Chengqing. Shu Chengqing stared deeply at the old willow tree. With his current emperor level and the laws of heaven, he couldn't even see through the origin of the old willow tree. It seems that the past of this old willow tree is not trivial. Shu Chengqing no longer struggled. After spending a bonfire dinner in Shichao village, he returned to his small yard again. Then he took out 3 bottles of liquid fairy energy rewarded by the system. The reason why the immortal energy is in liquid form is because he can only withstand liquid immortal energy now. Once it turns into liquid, this overbearing immortal energy will be a deadly poison. Shu Chengqing directly opened a bottle of liquid immortal energy, and in just a moment, he felt a terrifying aura rushing towards Tianlingdai. The 15 caves in the body were operating to the extreme. Layers of liquid immortal energy enveloped the caves, and they tried their best to refine the laws of immortality. It wasn't until a long time that Shu Chengqing slowly opened his eyes. It will take several years to refine this bottle of liquid immortal energy, and it will take almost 10 years to refine 3 bottles. But even if all 3 bottles of liquid immortal energy are refined, it is not enough for Shu Chengqing to condense all the laws of immortality and break through to the level of true immortality. I still need at least a dozen bottles of liquid fairy energy. However, refining the liquid immortal energy also allowed him to create a cave world of his own again. Now Shu Changqing has 16 cave worlds. On top of his cave, there are white chain-like laws of immortality entwined. By refining all the white chain-like laws of the cave to 1 meter long, one can step into the true immortal level. Refining the white chain-like laws of all the caves to 10 meters long means that all the caves are completely condensed, and then you have reached the peak of true immortality, not far from the realm of immortals who know the heaven and the immortal. He cannot obtain excess liquid fairy energy now, but he can increase the utilization rate of liquid fairy energy. Shu Changqing looked at the world tree beside him, and then poured a bottle of liquid fairy energy directly onto the world tree sapling. The entire world tree grew crazily, growing to the size of a peach tree in the blink of an eye, with flowers blooming all over the ground, making everyone unconsciously fall into silence. As time goes by, many fruits are growing faintly on various branches of the world tree. Through the transformation power of the world tree, Shu Changqing can transform the liquid immortal energy into the true immortal Dao fruit, thereby increasing the absorption rate. Wow, Master, Xiao Shushu has grown to this level, it's incredible. A small stone dressed in animal skin appeared in the courtyard at some unknown time. Of all the people here, only Xiao Shido dared to enter Shu Changqing's courtyard so boldly. Shu Changqing frowned and said calmly, "The system I practice is different from yours. We cannot be masters and disciples." Little Shido puffed up his cheeks and said unconvinced, "Master, do you think my talent is too poor? Just wait, I will soon be able to hunt down a ferocious beast to prove myself." Xiao Shido thought that Shu Changqing didn't like him, so he ran away quickly. But Shu Changqing sighed helplessly. He really couldn't become the master of Xiao Shido. The system he practiced belonged to the Taichu universe and was incompatible with the system practiced in the chaotic ancient era. To a certain extent, the cultivation system of the Taichu universe used various treasures of the human body in the early stage, and in the later stage, it borrowed the power of the Great Law to strengthen itself. In the current chaotic ancient era, they use the seeds that exist in the world. Some people use the sun, moon and stars as seeds, and some use grass and trees as seeds, and continue to strengthen the seeds through bone inscriptions to strengthen themselves. The little stone now has bone inscriptions engraved on itself. Once it practices the system of the original big world, it will inevitably cut off everything it owns. 2 days later, Xiao Shido excitedly dragged a huge brown bear into Shu Changqing's small yard. "Master, I am qualified." However, Shu Changqing was still playing with the world tree and ignored the small stones. Xiao Shido, who was several years old, burst into tears. Seeing that Shu Changqing still ignored him, he could only leave angrily. When he left, he took Shu Changqing's medicinal wine with him. This medicinal wine is actually diluted from the elixir of immortality, which is comparable to the supreme holy medicine. Every time the monks from the ancient era broke through their limits, they had to borrow powerful animal blood or medicinal baths. Xiao Shido tasted the sweetness and often came to Shu Changqing's small yard to take some medicinal wine. HMPH, when I become stronger, I will definitely let Master accept me as a disciple. Lu Shen, I stole Master's medicinal wine again today, do you want to have a taste too? The willow god trembled, and the green branches symbolically hit the small stone, as if to punish him. But in fact, when Xiao Shido placed the medicinal wine at the end of his branch, the entire tree trembled and became extremely comfortable. This medicinal wine is really amazing. I really want to know what kind of ferocious beast blood Master used to soak it. It's much better than the medicinal bath the old village chief gave me. It's really disgusting. Master refuses to accept me as his disciple. I must impress him. This made Xiao Shido extremely disappointed. Fortunately, he is extremely optimistic by nature and remains tireless. In addition to playing with his friends in Shichao village, Xiao Shido revealed his inner thoughts to the 2 people he trusted the most. Shu Changqing and the old willow tree. Master, Lu Shen gave me an extremely powerful true interpretation of bone inscriptions. Lu Shen, I finally know the master's name today. His name is Shu Changqing. What a good name. Master, I'm going to carve the inscription soon. Those people in the Stone Clan say I'm a super genius. Can't I become your disciple? As time passed, Xiao Shido gradually grew up from the age of 3 to a boy of 13. In the past 10 years, Xiao Shido has begged Xu Chengqing countless times, but Xu Chengqing has not explicitly agreed to Xiao Shitu's request to become a disciple. Master, I am going to the Stone Kingdom soon. I must find the person who dug up my bones. Another day, Xiao Shido said goodbye to Xu Chengqing. He has spent 10 years in the Barren Mountain, but he cannot stay in the Barren Mountain forever. He is also a member of the royal family of the Stone Kingdom in the Barren area. Xu Chengqing has been refining liquid immortal energy and true immortal Dao fruit over the years. Judging from the speed of condensation, he has completed 1/3 of the condensation of the immortal Dao law. But his foundation keeps increasing, and the more liquid immortal energy and true immortal Dao fruits he needs. His cave world increased again and became 18 cave heavens. The existence of the little stone brought a little joy to his boring life. When I heard that Xiao Shido was about to leave, I felt like a son was leaving his old father. Take it, save it. Xu Chengqing directly threw a wine gourd to Xiao Shido. When Xiao Shido opened it and smelled it, his face showed joy. Master is so kind to me. Wait for me to come back, master. Xu Chengqing corrected him again. I have never taught you how to practice, so you are not my disciple. Xiao Shido chuckled. It will happen sooner or later, haha. Now Xiao Shido has achieved a small level of cultivation, but he can't see through Xu Chengqing at all. In these years, he has never seen Xu Chengqing perform this world's treasures and bone inscriptions, as if his master is incompatible with this world. The little stone left and everything became quiet. The entire barren mountain became peaceful. And Xu Chengqing started his own refining again. Now, he has almost finished refining 3 bottles of liquid immortal energy. In the Taichu universe, the 1-meter-long true immortal law was condensed and blessed in all caves. Only after passing through the tribulation of becoming an immortal can one become a true immortal. He has only completed 1/3 of the way, but he has already surpassed more than 95% of the emperors. With the true immortal law, he has absolute crushing power. It's a pity that he can't get more liquid immortal energy. Even if he refines all 3 bottles, it won't be enough for him to achieve the status of a true immortal. It will take more than 10 years in the ancient era to get the next wave of system rewards. Xu Chengqing closed his eyes again, immersed in his own laws. And the little stone that left the barren mountain gradually made its name. His talent shocked the past and present, and he even developed a second set of supreme bones in his body, possessing great abilities. And he directly found the capital of the Stone Kingdom, and used his extremely strong strength to kill the people who had taken away his supreme bone in an honest and fair manner. The entire Stone Kingdom was shocked. The 8 realms of the lower domain once again ushered in turmoil. The Stone King of the Stone Kingdom disappeared. Little Shido took over the rule of the Stone Kingdom at a young age and became the new Stone King to suppress rebellions everywhere. But soon, a greater disaster came. Gods from the upper world and the lower world. For the 9 heavens and 10 earths in the upper realm, the 8 domains in the lower realm are the medicinal fields of the 9 heavens and 10 earths. Every once in a while, the upper realm will harvest the lower realm, not only to prevent the growth of humans in the lower realm, but also to support the needs of the restricted area in the upper realm. Of course, this time the gods in the upper realm and the lower realm also have another purpose: to find the true solution to transcendence, and the current true solution to transcendence belongs to Xiao Shido and was passed to him by the old willow tree. When the gods descended to the lower world, the whole lower world collapsed. All living beings are in panic. But only Xiao Shido, the new Stone Emperor, defeated the gods with his powerful strength. Although Xu Chengqing did not give Xiao Shido any cultivation methods, but after taking the diluted elixir for a long time, Xiao Shitu's current strength is comparable to that of the gods who ignited the divine fire. These gods of the upper world were horrified to find that, fighting alone, they were no match for Xiao Shido. So many gods, using ordinary people as a threat, teamed up to trap the small stones and kill them. No matter how talented Little Stone is, he is still no match for the gods. A generation of stone emperors who defied the heavens finally died tragically in the hands of the gods. Small Stone, his family, his partner, and his friends all mourned. Just when all the gods wanted to harvest the creatures in the lower world, a huge wine gourd floated up from the stone emperor's body and then emitted a dazzling 7-color light. When everyone was in despair, it killed all the gods, not even ashes were left. All the sentient beings in the lower realms showed signs of rebirth and disbelief. Is that the wine gourd carried by the Stone Emperor? This treasure is so powerful. The Stone Emperor often shows off to others that this was given to him by his master, but why did he wait until the Stone Emperor died to reveal his power? Look, the wine gourd has disappeared with the Stone Emperor's body. Not only the lower realm, but also the powerful men in the 9 heavens and 10 earths in the upper realm showed horror. That wine gourd, it's actually a treasure owned by the Supreme Being. How can the Supreme be hidden in the lower world? The laws of the lower realm are extremely imperfect, and it stands to reason that it is impossible for monks above the divine fire realm to appear. But no matter what, their harvest of the lower realm failed, and it will take some time to open the lower realm next time. The most important thing is that there may be super powerful people hidden in the lower world. One of the supreme beings from the upper realm showed a cold look on his face. Send a message to the forces in the lower realm and ask them to find out the origin of this wine gourd, especially the master mentioned by the Stone Emperor. In Shichao village, a barren mountain, a weak-headed boy opened his eyes with some difficulty. Am I already in hell? Xiao Shido suddenly came back to his senses and jumped up from the ground. A familiar place, a familiar courtyard, and the huge wine gourd next to him. Xiao Shido had a look of horror on his face. He thought about the last moment before his death, when the wine gourd emitted thousands of rays of light and killed all the powerful gods. He thought, this wine gourd is actually an extremely powerful treasure. However, what makes Xiao Shido even more shocked is that he is still alive. A young man in a green gown, wearing a bamboo hat, pushed the door in from outside the yard. You wake up Xiao Shido, and when I make the lotus roots, you can eat them in a while. Xiao Shido burst into tears and hugged Shu Chengqing's thigh. Master, I thought I would never see you again. Did you save me again? Shu Chengqing shook his head. Xiao Shitu's supreme bone has powerful abilities, and it was not him who brought Xiao Shido back from the dead this time. The best I can do is speed up his resurrection. But Xiao Shido didn't believe it at all. The master saved his life for the second time. How should he repay him in the future? Ding! Congratulations to the host for leaving his own footprints in the long river of time in the ancient era. The host will be rewarded with 5 bottles of liquid immortal energy and the supreme immortal scripture of his transformation. He transformed into the Supreme Immortal Sutra. A golden wordless book appeared in Shu Chengqing's mind. As Shu Chengqing's thoughts turned, the words on the wordless book began to appear one by one, forming 4 characters. He passed. Every word seems to contain the avenue of heaven and earth, a dimension that transcends time and space, flowing in the long river of time in the past. He can transform into the past. As long as it is the time and space that Shu Chengqing has been to, he can manifest a past clone out of thin air. The clone possesses all of Shu Chengqing's cultivation and abilities in the past period of time. At this moment, Shu Chengqing closed his eyes, and the 4 characters he transformed into seemed to give Shu Chengqing some kind of epiphany. Taking his thoughts and consciousness with him, he sank into nothingness. A little bit of immortal law overflowed from the gap between the 4 words, and merged directly into Shu Chengqing's inner cave. In the blink of an eye, his true immortal law directly increased to 1 meter. He has 9 cave worlds that condense 1 meter of immortal law, which is enough to offset the digestion of 3 bottles of liquid immortal energy. He has now completed half of the condensation of the true immortal law. Shu Chengqing took a deep breath. The level of this supreme immortal sutra must be extremely high. Just the name of the immortal sutra revealed contains the true immortal law. If he could be allowed to understand more of the mysteries of his transformation into the supreme mysterious sutra, maybe he could directly reach the level of a true immortal. This is just him transforming into the past. There are others like him transforming into the present, he transforming into the future, he transforms into the eternity, etc., but now he can only initially understand that he has transformed into the past. Try it and see what this so-called transformation into the past is all about. Within the Blue Star universe, when Shu Chengqing became the Quasi-Emperor, the law fragments created many innate beings. These creatures have just been born and are at the level of the 3rd or 4th realm. Even if the current Blue Star begins to recover its spiritual energy, it will not be a match for these innate creatures in a short time. Because of the existence of Shu Chengqing, these innate creatures not only do not harm Blue Star people, but also get along very well with Blue Star people. At this moment, all of a sudden, all the innate creatures felt their souls trembling deep in their hearts, and then looked towards somewhere in the starry sky of the universe. Master is back. All the innate creatures rushed to the depths of the universe with great joy, preparing to worship their creator. In the depths of the blue star universe, several stars suddenly shattered, and then Shu Chengqing in a blue robe was revealed. There was a strange look on his face. This is another me, but the cultivation level is only the Quasi-Emperor 9th level. Is this what he transformed into? Very good. Through this method, I may be able to see the situation of Blue Star in the previous era. Shu Chengqing transformed himself through him, embodying the footprints he once left on Blue Star. However, his clone is not only involved in the current Blue Star universe. In Shu Chengqing's consciousness, this clone is connecting to the past time of Blue Star, and Shu Chengqing's figure exists throughout the entire past time. If Shu Chengqing of the Quasi-Emperor 9th level has 200,000 years, 5 million years have passed since the last era of Blue Star. That is to say, in the past Blue Star era, there were a total of 25 Shu Chengqing's alter egos in the long river of time. Of course, this is just because Shu Chengqing's other incarnations have not practiced to a high level in the past. Once it reaches the peak, all the past clones will overlap, and the entire time will be Shu Chengqing's figure. One clone after another roamed the past time of the Blue Star universe until Shu Chengqing saw the Blue Star universe of the previous era. It was the confrontation between the gods of the East and the West. The Blue Star universe was far larger than the current world. Shu Chengqing saw the pyramids from before and the Western gods in the sky. Opposite them are the Eastern gods. In addition to Baifeng, there are also various mythical creatures from ancient legends of Xia Kingdom. Even behind them, Shu Chengqing saw a body of a god that was thousands of meters tall and reached straight into the sky. There was an earth-shattering sound in my ears. I am a subordinate of the heavenly court, the gods and giants, and you, the little ones from the west, come here to die. A sound like the earth was shattering echoed in his past avatar, which immediately broke. His past avatar in the entire Blue Star universe can only last in this era, and cannot be extended to the previous era. Shu Chengqing, who was in the Forbidden World, frowned suddenly. The invasion of the Blue Star universe failed in the previous era. He has just comprehended the mysteries he transformed into, and has not yet reached a high level of cultivation. Congratulations to the host for signing into the last era of Blue Star, signing into the 9-star peak world, and receiving 10 bottles of liquid fairy energy and 100 world points. Shu Chengqing did not expect that his alter ego would directly trigger the sign-in task after arriving at Blue Star in the previous era. Is this how he got the liquid immortal energy he had been pursuing so hard? Perhaps, the next goal is that I can manifest my clone into the original world. In this way, maybe it can also trigger the sign-in task of the first era of the original world. However, Shu Chengqing now puts down what he is doing. The little stone thing needs to be sorted out. Although he was resurrected from the dead, the condensed Dao seeds were completely defeated, and many years of hard work were destroyed in one day. Moreover, his supreme bone disappeared again. It would be even more difficult to recondensate the Dao seed and carve the bone inscriptions of this world on it. In short, the little stone is useless and can no longer enter the practice system of this world. Xiao Shido, who was originally optimistic, now became depressed and listless all day long. Xiao Shido communicated frequently with the old willow tree at the entrance of the village, but the final result was not good either. Unless Xiao Shido can find another way of practice, he will never be able to enter the path of practice again. After all, Shu Chengqing and Xiao Shido have been together for more than 10 years, and they still have feelings for each other. Seeing Xiao Shido lying helplessly on the willow tree, everyone in Shichao village looked at Xiao Shido worriedly. At this moment, Shu Chengqing in a green gown suddenly appeared on the spot. Little Shido, are you willing to become your teacher? Xiao Shido suddenly climbed up from the ground and looked at Shu Chengqing with a look of joy. A long-cherished wish is about to come true. But then he looked dejected again. I'm already crippled. Even the master shouldn't be able to restore my Taoism. I am not worthy to be master's disciple. Being able to save a life is already a blessing among misfortunes. I really can't restore your Taoism. In this world, with the help of bone inscriptions, vegetation, mountains and rivers as seeds, to nourish chi and absorb spirit. Everyone's Tao seed has been destined from the very beginning of practice. Whoever's path is more perfect will have a broader path. Even Xu Chengqing couldn't restore Xiao Shitu's Tao seed. Xu Chengqing's words shattered Xiao Shitu's last hope. He was like an old monk in meditation, motionless. However, I have a way to restore your cultivation and discover your talents in another way. Even when you reach a higher level of cultivation, the supreme bone will grow again. Xu Chengqing's words set off huge waves in the ears of the little stone and the old willow tree. In the ancient times, mountains, rivers, vegetation, and all things in the world were used as Tao seeds. Hasn't anyone tried to use the body as seeds to develop the human body's instincts and strengthen itself? Seed with one's body. Small stones and the mysterious old willow god were instantly petrified. It is not that no one has tried it in the ancient era and even the immortal era, but there is no doubt that they all failed and died miserably. Old willow god even exuded a spiritual thought. Throughout the ages, no one who has used his body to breed has succeeded. But then the old willow tree was shocked. Xu Chengqing's suggestion of planting seeds with his own body at this time was certainly not groundless. Could it be that he made this road clear? How can this be? Now the old willow has recovered some memories of the ancient immortal era and understands what it means to be a species. Where on earth did this pharmacist Xu, who had been with him for more than 10 years, come from? And Xiao Shido looked at Xu Chengqing with gleaming eyes. Ever since he met Xu Chengqing, the other party had never used bone inscriptions, treasure techniques, or the divine fire that ignited Tao seeds. But the wine gourd Xu Chengqing took out at will can easily kill the gods in the realm of divine fire. There is no doubt how powerful Xu Chengqing is as a person. Could it be that Xu Chengqing's career was based on his body? Xiao Shido was shocked, then his face became serious, he shook his clothes, and he knelt down and bowed in a very formal manner. Shi Tianao in the wilderness, please master to take him in. All the villagers in Shichao village were breathing rapidly and looked at Xu Chengqing and the small stone kneeling on the ground meticulously. Xu Chengqing looked at Xiao Shido kneeling on the ground with an indifferent expression, and Xiao Shitu's body emerged from the void. Get up, little stone. In my entire life, I have been practicing so far, and you are the third direct disciple I have accepted. Xiao Shitu's expression froze. Has master accepted other people before? Your senior sister's name is Su Qingshe, and your second senior brother's name is Su Tianj. Although their talents are not as good as yours, they are still quite powerful. You need to work hard to catch up to surpass them. Su Qingshe and Su Tianj are both in the realm of saints, corresponding to the forbidden world, and are close to quasi-supreme beings. It will probably take a lot of time for Xiao Shido to catch up with him now. Moreover, it has been more than 10 years since he came to this forbidden world, and 200 years have passed since the original world. Su Qingshe and Su Tianj are probably already making rapid progress. Master, where are these two senior brothers and sisters? Why have I never seen them before? Little Shitu's heart suddenly showed curiosity. And Xu Chengqing smiled slightly. If there were no accidents, the three of them would never meet. After all, the distance between the big universe where the forbidden world is located and the big universe where the original big world is located is too far. Xu Chengqing stopped talking and pointed a finger between Xiao Shitu's eyebrows. Suddenly a brand new system of practice poured into Xiao Shitu's memory. Tempering body realm, innate realm, true spirit realm, heaven and human realm, nirvana realm, king. The little stone had a look of horror on its face. From the body tempering realm to the king realm, it was all based on improving oneself. There was no need to use all things in the world as seeds to carve inscriptions and ignite divine fires. By discovering their own potential, the monks themselves can reach higher levels. Xu Chengqing said again, the practice system I passed on to you, up to the realm of kings, is based on exploring one's own potential. I don't know if you are suitable to take this path. According to my calculations, you can only reach the realm of king at most. The rest needs to be understood by yourself. Xu Chengqing did not teach the little stone a cultivation system above the king level. It was not because he was clumsy, but a saint above the king level. The great sage and other realms need to be integrated with the power of the great principles of the universe in the beginning to understand. Small rocks that are not suitable for the big world of restricted areas. To a certain extent, the cultivation system of the original world was based on the body in the early stage, and in the later stage, it was based on the laws of heaven and earth to strengthen itself. It was not purely based on the body. But this kind of great law of heaven and earth belongs to the great universe of Taichu. The great law of the forbidden world may not be able to support the little stone to reach the realm of saint. In other words, the current master has reached the realm of king. Xiao Shido looked at Xu Chengqing curiously, but the latter did not explain anything. Xiao Shido was shocked in his heart. Could it be that the purpose of master's stay in the lower realm was to find some opportunity to break through to become the king? The realm of kings has far exceeded the monks of the divine fire realm in this world. It turns out that the master is already in such a powerful state, and he cannot embarrass the master. He was so fascinated that he began to practice hard in Shichao village. Xu Chengqing is not idle either. He is constantly comprehending his supreme immortal sutra of transformation and condensing the immortal law through liquid immortal energy. Another 2 years passed in the blink of an eye. Xiao Shido is worthy of being a genius. In just 2 years of practice, he has already reached the realm of gods and humans. This is the level of the inner disciples of the original world. But the further you practice, the more enlightened the little stone becomes. He may be trapped in the realm of kings just like his master, unable to break through. From Xiao Shitu's current perspective, he thinks that Xu Chengqing took the path of becoming a human being and was trapped in the realm of kings. Time passed by little, and suddenly one day Xiao Shido rushed into Xu Chengqing's courtyard very excitedly. "Master, I have an epiphany. I can use my body to reach the limit." At this moment, Xu Chengqing is on the verge of a breakthrough, and 2/3 of the true immortal law in his body has been condensed. At the same time, his cave world has reached 20. The increased foundation means that it is much more difficult for him to break through to the realm of true immortal than for others. He slowly opened his eyes, and at the same time he also knew the reason for Xiao Shitu's excitement, and his eyes also showed a look of shock. Using the human body to reach its limit, directly skipping the saint, great sage, and emperor stages, and using the 5 secret realms of the human body to replace the Tao seed. Xiao Shido clenched his fists excitedly. "I will combine the practice system you gave me in all the realms before the king's realm into the 5 secret realms. The Wheel Sea, Tao Palace, 4 Pulls, Dragon Transformation, and even the final cultivation to perfection are comparable to the supreme secret realm of Shantai. The completion of these 5 secret realms is enough to span the entire 9 heavens and 10 earths." Xu Chengqing was also shocked by Xiao Shitu's genius idea. No wonder Xiao Shido would become the everlasting emperor of heaven in the future. In their original world and even the entire Taichu universe, after reaching the realm of saints, they began to make breakthroughs with the help of the laws of the Great Road. In fact, they gave up on exploring the potential of the human body. If it were not for the forbidden world, the world level would be lower than the original world. By following this path, the strong men in the original world of the same realm will no longer be the opponents of the forbidden world. Or I can also try, walk this path, complete the 5 secret realms, and then merge into the main body. When I break through to the true immortal, I will definitely kill any other true immortal in an instant. Xu Chengqing did what he thought of, and transformed directly through him, creating an incarnation of Xu Chengqing that only had the king realm, and silently studied the 5 secret realms in a place where no one could see it. "Little Shido, you are indeed a genius. However, you can only rely on yourself for the rest of the journey. My cultivation has reached a critical moment and I am temporarily asleep." Xu Chengqing is preparing to go into retreat and completely condense the remaining immortal laws. He waved his hand and disappeared directly into the small courtyard. To condense the laws of immortality and even survive the true immortal tribulation, it certainly cannot be done in the restricted world. This kind of true immortal catastrophe, destroying the forbidden world, is nothing, but Xu Chengqing is afraid that it will attract the attention of the 10-star universe. When Xu Chengqing appeared again, he was already in the chaotic void outside the forbidden world. Xiao Shido showed a look of reluctance, but he quickly clenched his fists. When the master wakes up, he must be surprised. Chapter 51. While Xu Chengqing was in retreat, the forbidden world was boiling again. The once dead stone emperor reappeared in the wilderness, shocking everyone, and with an invincible attitude once again put an end to the civil strife in the Stone Kingdom and removed all the minions in the upper world. The little stone has become a thorn in the side of the major religions in the upper world and the dark restricted area. And Shi Tianao, who was already invincible in the lower realm, set his sights on the upper realm. One night, Little Stone opened the door to the upper world, smuggled into the upper world and grew up incognito. Time flies, and another 10 years have passed. Just when the great religion of the upper realm organized the powerful men of the divine fire realm to go down to the lower realm again and turn the lower realm into a hell on earth, the little stone that had been lying in wait for a long time killed all the gods in advance with absolute strength. And this time, Xiao Shitu's identity was directly exposed, and the billions of miles of pursuit began. Especially some super geniuses in the upper world also heard about Xiao Shitu's name and participated in the pursuit. However, what frightens everyone is that the Holy Son, the legitimate son of the great sect of the upper realm and those in the dark restricted area, were also beheaded by small stones in the same realm. A small stone can already be invincible at the same level. Someone finally sensed that something was wrong. This lower realm stone emperor seemed to be following another type of practice. Someone spread the news, and everyone immediately felt that something was wrong. Seed with one's body. How can someone succeed? If you keep practicing, is there any way for us to survive? The immortal realm once issued an order strictly prohibiting the exploration of the path of cultivating one's body. He still has a master. Could it be that there is a more powerful person who cultivates his body as a seed? The quasi-supreme person had a cold voice, and his eyes were filled with murderous intent. The next moment, no longer caring about the identity of the senior, he actually wanted to capture Xiao Shido in broad daylight. Although Xiao Shido is very talented at this moment, he is still far away from being a quasi-supreme person. The wine gourd on his waist flew up automatically and emitted a boundless light again, making the quasi-supreme look horrified. Under the light, the quasi-supreme one was completely destroyed in form and spirit. Some of the quasi-supremes who were observing secretly were even trembling. If they had taken action just now, they would also die. One can imagine how powerful the owner of this treasure gourd is. Some people began to fear that there must be a supreme being hidden behind this lower realm stone emperor. As for the supreme powerhouse, there are only 20 people in their entire upper realm. Xiao Shido was also horrified. The stronger he got, the more powerful he felt the master. Could it be that master has cultivated to the supreme level? Lu Shen, help me go down to the lower realm. Now that the treasure gourd has frightened these quasi-supreme beings, Xiao Shido is about to slip back to the lower realm. He knows that these quasi-supreme beings are too strong in cultivation and it is difficult to force their way down to the lower realm. However, in the 9 heavens and 10 lands of the upper realm, 20 supreme beings spoke together. It's okay if you don't want these spiritual fields in the lower world. Break through the barrier of the lower realm, and we will surely find the hidden supreme. Using one's body to breed is a taboo for us and even the great figures in the immortal realm. We must definitely strangle it in the cradle. The entire lower realm was shattered, and Xiao Shido was shocked to see that the barrier of the lower realm was directly penetrated. The laws of the 9 heavens and 10 realms also poured into the lower realm, and countless gods appeared, looking greedily at the people in the lower realm. These people in the lower world are called Lingtian by them, and life and death only take place in a split second. Kill 90% of the spiritual field, then create the lower realm, and let the remaining 10% continue to multiply. All the lower realm monks were in panic, but there were also many lower realm monks who stood together with Xiao Shido. Even if they die, they have to bite off a piece of skin from these so-called gods. In Shichao village, the old willow tree swayed, and then a graceful figure walked out of the willow tree. She was blurry, like a banished immortal, and she spanned 9 heavens and 10 places in an instant. With a wave of his palm, all the greedy gods were destroyed physically and mentally. That's Lu Shen. Xiao Shido looked horrified. This was the first time he saw Lu Shen's true form taking action. It turned out to be a humanoid god. Although he knew it was not the right time, Xiao Shitu's eyes widened, trying to figure out whether Lu Shen was a boy or a girl. Well, is that brat's master yours? You are just a quasi-supreme master. Within 9 days and 10 places, at least 30 quasi-supreme beings all took action and slapped the old willow tree. For a time, a war was about to break out, and a large number of monks and mortals died, whether in the 9 heavens and 10 earths, or in the lower realms. Little Shatu's eyes turned red, all the secret realms of the human body opened, and blood spread all over the world. This battle was extremely brutal, and Lu Shen was even more impressive, able to resist 30 quasi-supreme beings by himself. HMPH, arrogant. Within the 9 heavens and 10 earths, the Lord of the Dark Forbidden Zone couldn't sit still, and the supreme power took action instantly. In just an instant, Lu Shen's aura became weaker, and the power of the Supreme was unstoppable. And the Supreme One directly fished for the little stone, wanting to get all the secrets in his mind. My apprentice, do you dare to take action? In the sight of countless upper and lower realms, suddenly the entire space folded, and a young man in a blue gown walked out of nothingness. He has a handsome face and exudes an aura that makes even the Supremes fear him. The space came to a standstill, and with a single wave of his hand, all the monks in the upper realm here, including those quasi-supremes, were wiped out with a snap of a finger, not even the dregs were left. Everyone looked at all this blankly, with infinite fear in their hearts, but the monks from the lower realm showed an expression of rebirth after a disaster. Master, are you awake? Xiao Shatu's face was full of joy, and he knelt down in midair to help him down, crying with joy. Master. Everyone looked at Xu Chengqing, who appeared with horrified expressions. Everyone knew that there was a big shot behind the Stone Emperor, but they didn't expect him to be so powerful, killing all the quasi-supremes with a wave of his hand. The incarnation of the old willow tree also had a strange look on its face, as if it felt that something was not right about Xu Chengqing's current state. Of course, Xu Chengqing's body has not yet come out of seclusion, and is still comprehending the complete laws of immortality, hoping to break through to the realm of true immortality. The Xu Chengqing who appears now is just a clone that he transformed into more than 10 years ago. The cultivation system followed by this avatar is entirely based on the body-based path. At this moment, it has reached the pinnacle of the Quasi-Emperor 9th level, comparable to a powerful person who has achieved enlightenment in another way. Xiao Shido and Xu Chengqing were following the same system. At this moment, Xu Chengqing's aura dispersed, making him aware of Xu Chengqing's terror. It turns out that Master has already taken the path of cultivating himself as a human being. This level has reached the pinnacle of the immortal realm. Memories emerged in his mind one after another, and Xiao Shido suddenly had a clear understanding. In the process of cultivating the human body, he was able to develop a system corresponding to the 5 secret realms of the human body. How could your master, who has long been cultivating his body as a seed, not have his own insights? Maybe these 5 secret realms have been discovered by the master a long time ago, otherwise it would not be possible to explain that Xu Chengqing can break through the limits of the king. What Xiao Shido didn't know was that Xu Chengqing, who was in the original world, was already close to the level of a true immortal. Even if a true immortal descended from the 10-star universe in the heaven above the 9 heavens and 10 earths, he would not be afraid. His vision is far beyond what Xiao Shido can compare with now. After knowing the 5 secret realms, it only took him 10 years to reach the end. You are the master of the Stone Emperor of the lower realm. In this state, you are indeed born from your body. Impossible. In countless years, including the immortal era, no one has been able to successfully pass on the body to breed. The supreme beings in the dark restricted area of the upper realm all looked horrified, but then they all revealed their figures. A total of 20 supremely powerful men appeared in the sky like a dark sun. These people, I don't know how many years they have existed, because a strong person appeared in another system, and they appeared in unison at this moment. The aura in the sky was as frightening as the end of the world, shocking everyone's hearts and making ordinary people terrified. Xiao Shido looked at Xu Chengqing worriedly, but found that the latter still looked calm. The powerful aura on Xu Chengqing's body appeared in an instant, and various thunder tribulations and arcs gathered around him. The supreme beings who had just appeared felt a sense of horror in their hearts. Is this kind of aura really that powerful as a human being? Report to the immortal realm, and let's work together to kill him. The terrifying aura of 20 supreme beings seemed to pierce through the sky, and the world seemed to be ushering in the end. All terrorist attacks were focused on Xu Chengqing, which frightened Xiao Shido and others. Mr. Xu, let me help you. The only person who could intervene at this moment was Lu Shen's incarnation, but as soon as she got close, she was disturbed by the supreme attack. Her strength is still recovering, and she is no match for these supreme beings. Shu Chengqing looked back at the old willow tree with a calm expression. No need, these guys are not enough for me to take a high look at. An aura that transcended the Quasi-Emperor's 9th level emerged from Shu Chengqing's body again. The secret realm of immortal stage in his body was opened, and various lights and laws were derived from his body. The attacks of all the surrounding supreme beings seemed to hit the bottomless pit, and the faces of all the supreme beings once again showed a look of horror. Too weak, you people are too weak. Although his clone has not yet become an emperor, it is more than enough to be the supreme king of this world. Shu Chengqing's indifferent words spread throughout the starry sky, and a scene that shocked everyone appeared. A big hand covering the sky crossed the sky, holding all the dark suns that the Supremes had evolved into. No matter how hard they struggled, it was of no avail. Until finally, all the dark sun turned into silence, and a look of decay appeared in all restricted areas of the 9 heavens and 10 earths. There were people in the forbidden area whimpering, their supreme being withered and turned into ashes. The whole world was in deathly silence, and the powerful supreme beings died like this. In the upper realm, everyone looked panicked. Congratulations to the host for leaving his own traces in the long river of time in the ancient era. The host will be rewarded with 100 world points and 10 bottles of liquid fairy energy. Xiao Shido and Lao Liushu were also confused. They thought there would be a life and death battle between Shu Chengqing and them, but they didn't expect it to be a completely one-sided massacre. Where did Shu Chengqing go? Shu Chengqing, who belonged to his past transformation, still looked calm. My name is Shu Chengqing. Today I have broken through the 9 heavens and 10 earths and passed through the Emperor's tribulation. Becoming emperor, there was a roar between the heaven and the earth, the entire forbidden world was turbulent, and there were thunder and disasters. Everyone felt that their souls were trembling again. Xiao Shido was also stunned. This is the pinnacle of the Sendai secret realm. According to my calculations, it needs to be integrated with the Tianxin seal of the forbidden world and be recognized by the heavenly Tao to achieve this realm. Has Master already reached this level? Shu Chengqing, who he transformed into, let out a long roar and ran towards the starry sky in the universe. Little Shido, just take a closer look. What is the peak of being a species like? There are constant thunder and calamities in the starry sky, but they are nothing to Shu Chengqing. The calamity of becoming an emperor in this restricted world is no greater than that of the original world. Of course, the most important thing is that Shu Chengqing is very special. No matter who becomes emperor in the future, the disaster will be far less than that of Shu Chengqing. But Shu Chengqing's goal is not only to become an emperor, but also to reach the pinnacle of the imperial realm, and then merge this alter ego with his original body. Once merged, the immortal laws he needs to condense will be several times as large as before, and the world of cave heaven will increase dramatically. Suddenly, Shu Chengqing felt a big hand appear in the thunderstorm, pointing at his entire body in an instant. This attack is far higher than the Chengdi Thunder tribulation level and does not belong to the forbidden world. Shu Chengqing suddenly looked above his head, and an ethereal palm came down along the thunder, as if it was going to crush Shu Chengqing. The remaining strong men far away in the 9 heavens and 10 earths have actually been watching Shu Chengqing's great emperor's tribulation. They all want to know where this strong man will go. Lu Shen's expression suddenly changed. Sure enough, there are immortals in the immortal realm who have taken action. They will not let go of the strong man who is born with his body. It's the true immortal in the immortal realm who took action. How despicable. Xiao Shido and others all looked angry. This so-called immortal was not a good thing either. Lu Shen smiled coldly. The current fairyland has long been occupied by darkness. It is just another big dying vat. It is essentially no different from the masters of the restricted areas in 9 heavens and 10 earths. There are even some powerful true immortals who walked out of the restricted areas of the 9 heavens and 10 earths. Whether it was because of their body or because Shu Yaoshi destroyed all the dark restricted areas, your master has already been blacklisted in the immortal realm. Quote. Xiao Shido suddenly became worried, and a sense of powerlessness surged into his heart. I must become stronger as soon as possible and fight side by side with Master. Shu Chengqing smiled coldly as he looked at the immortal palm moving down the thunder. It is also the 10-star universe. Shu Chengqing has a feeling that the true immortals of the universe where this forbidden world is located are weaker than the true immortals of the Taichu universe. A mere true immortal attacks and wants to kill me. Just in time, let me directly refine your immortal world law. Shu Chengqing's body suddenly swelled, and the light of the treasure in the immortal secret realm was brought to its extreme, confronting the immortal palm. The previous confrontation between the two even shattered the Emperor Cheng's tribulation cloud. A muffled groan spread throughout the starry sky, and everyone was shocked to find that the immortal in the world was no match for Shu Chengqing, who was undergoing a tribulation. This is simply the most ridiculous thing in the world, just how powerful this master of the Stone Emperor is. We are about to descend to the next world, and heretics are waiting to die. Some kind of consciousness was transmitted from somewhere, and even everyone in the 9 heavens and 10 earths heard it. In the fairyland, an immortal is about to arrive. The immortal palm kept retracting, wanting to retreat into the immortal realm. But Shu Chengqing smiled coldly. You still want to run. At the same time, a world tree sapling appeared on his left hand. No, it can now be called the immortal world tree. After these years of refining, the true immortal laws on the world tree have been perfected, and the current world tree has transformed into an immortal weapon. Xiaoshu, swallow this immortal law for me. On the trunk of the world tree, the face of a 5 or 6-year-old boy appeared, with excitement on his face. After receiving the master, Xiaoshu likes these immortal laws. Bursts of light emitted from the world tree, directly covering all the immortal palms and completely cutting off the consciousness from the immortal realm. The fairy weapon spirit Xiaoshu frowned. The relatively low-level fairy law is not as good as the liquid fairy energy given by the master. This also shows from the side that the people who appear in the immortal realm are not as good as the true immortals in the Taichu universe. The immortal took action and was also sniped. All the people in the 9 heavens and 10 earths couldn't help but swallowed their saliva. The remaining people in the restricted area originally hoped that the people in the immortal world could obliterate the existence of Shu Chengqing, but now that the immortals took action, they were still resolved by this existence crisis. This mysterious existence is really too powerful. These superior beings in the upper world, will face a disaster. Xiao Shido was even more excited, and his heart was racing. Is his master so powerful that even immortals cannot erase him? Sooner or later, he will follow the footsteps of his master and destroy the majesty of the immortal. Old Willow looked horrified. Where did Shu Yaoshi come from? This great figure has never appeared in my memory. Could it be that, like me, you were reincarnated in recultivation? She then looked into the starry sky. The true immortal is about to come. Can Master Shu really stop it? And Shu Chengqing's body shook violently, and an invisible force directly suppressed the entire thunder tribulation. At the same time, the heavenly Tao of the entire restricted world seemed to be trembling. The laws of the great avenues came out, and a huge cyan mark appeared in the universe. Shu Chengqing's consciousness penetrated directly, and all the powerful men in the 9 heavens and 10 earths felt the strangeness of the world. It is as if the entire heavenly way has been integrated into the individual's consciousness, and someone has gained the recognition of the heavenly way in the forbidden world. And Xiao Shido clenched his fist again. Master succeeded in integrating the Tianxin seal. Everyone looked towards the land of the cosmic starry sky. Above the sky, a vast aura was spreading. A phantom is taking shape, with majesty reaching the extreme. This is the emperor who is born in the body and has truly integrated the mark of Tianxin. All the monks in the 9 heavens and 10 earths felt the ultimate pressure. This aura was far stronger than the previous supreme. They were extremely frightened, but the people in the 8 realms of the lower world were extremely happy. We pay our respects to the Evergreen Emperor. Thank you, Evergreen Emperor, for saving countless lives. It has been learned from Shuang's mouth that his master's name is Shu Chengqing. And his cultivation is above the supreme, reminding everyone of the emperor in the mythical age. The great emperor, Shu Chengqing, deserves the title of Evergreen Emperor. To these people, if it weren't for Shu Chengqing, this would be a massacre of hundreds of millions of creatures in a dark restricted area. All of them are going to die. At this moment, the world tree has condensed the immortal Tao law and formed several immortal Tao fruits. One of them was digested by Shu Chengqing's clone, which made the clone that had just broken through the great emperor take a big step forward again. Shu Chengqing looked at Xiao Shido at this moment with a smile on his face. Little stone, and old willow tree, we have known each other for more than 20 years, and now it's time to say goodbye. I will stop those immortals. I hope we can see you again in the future. Xiao Shido was shocked. Why was he leaving so suddenly? He burst into tears instantly, thinking that Xu Chengqing was willing to stop the powerful immortal realm for the sake of this world. Even Lu Shen was moved. He didn't expect Xu Chengqing, who was at such a high level, to have such a favorable impression of the forbidden world. Xu Chengqing looked strange. In this forbidden world, if the people he really cares about are probably Xiao Shido, and perhaps also Old Willow and Xichao village. But the others have nothing to do with Xu Chengqing. At this moment of separation, it is really because Xu Chengqing has stayed in the ancient era for too long, and the task he should do has been completed. He also wants to return to the original world and solve the crisis facing the original Holy Land. The reason why I went to snipe the immortals was not because of the restricted world, but because of the system mission requirements. Ding! Congratulations to the host for activating the sign-in task. Go to any place in the 10-star dark universe to sign in. The host will be rewarded with 50 bottles of liquid fairy energy, a manual for understanding the laws of heaven, and a top-notch fairy weapon, the Heaven-Shaking Seal. Note: it requires consuming 1,000 world points. As long as he can go to the 10-star dark universe, the reward he receives will allow Xu Chengqing to immediately break through to the level of true immortal. The current Xu Chengqing body has 24 in the cave world, twice as many as ordinary emperors. The deeper the foundation, the slower the practice. Step-by-step practice to reach the realm of true immortality. I still don't know that it will take years of monkeys, horses and months to break through. But he has a problem. With this clone of him, coupled with other means, it is not impossible to compete with a true immortal or above. If it were the past, Xu Chengqing would certainly not dare to head to the 10-star universe rashly. But now he can transform into another person and use his clone to sign in, without risking his own body. The system stipulates that traveling to the 10-star universe requires spending 1,000 world points, which Xu Chengqing definitely does not have now. But the immortal who just took action is about to go down to the lower world. He does not need to consume world value at all and has the opportunity to go to the real 10-star universe. Xiao Shido hugged Xu Chengqing's thigh and cried. Xu Chengqing stroked the back of his head just like he did when he was a child. You have to practice hard, maybe you will become the strongest man in the entire universe in the future, and we might even meet one day. Xu Chengqing waved her long sleeves and handed some things on her body to Xiao Shido. Several complete elixirs, 3 Jita Emperor weapons, 3 Jita Emperor puppets, etc. These can ensure that after Xu Chengqing leaves, Xiao Shido will not be killed before he has grown up. Finally, he transforms into the Supreme Immortal Sutra. Xu Chengqing has never hidden any secrets from his direct disciples. Both Su Qingshe and Su Tianj will get the true biography of Xu Chengqing, and Xiao Shido is no exception. To a certain extent, the rewards I received when I signed into the ancient era and completed tasks were all related to the small stones. This little thing is nothing to Xu Chengqing. Xiao Shido cried so hard that he didn't even notice how many powerful things Xu Chengqing gave him. The terrifying pressure came again, and everyone knew that the immortal was about to come to the world. Xu Chengqing smiled slightly. Finally here. At the end of the ancient chaos era, Emperor Chengqing rebelled against the 6 true immortals, causing space to disappear, causing the sky to collapse and the earth to split, and the 9 heavens and 10 earths to perish. The true immortal bleeds, the corpses are scattered in the lower world, and the laws disappear. As for the Evergreen Emperor, there is no more news. The later Emperor Shi Tian, who ruled for eternity, conquered the immortal realm, crossed the boundary sea, and traveled through the long river of time in pursuit of his master, but to no avail. As time goes by, only a few legends remain for future generations. At the end of the ancient chaotic era, there was Emperor Chengqing who destroyed all dark restricted areas. Suspected to have pioneered the method of cultivation for later generations, he became the first emperor to use his body to fuse the seal of heaven's heart, and went against the true immortals, unparalleled in the world. The original Great World, the original Holy Land. 500 years have passed since Xu Chengqing became the Great Emperor. If it were the past, 500 years would be just a drop in the ocean for a strong man above the level of a saint. But for the current primitive world, it is a complete rebirth. Not only has all the laws and order been restored in the original world, but under the guidance of Xu Chengqing, monks can get closer to the laws of the Great Road. 500 years have passed, and Su Qingshe, Su Tianj, Zonkong and others have grown into quasi-emperor level experts. The Shu family, who came to the original big world from Blue Star, has become a real big world. After 500 years of reproduction, the Shu family has tens of thousands of members. And Shu Wenbin, Shu Ligyu and Shu Qian have broken through to the realm of the great sage, and the Shu family has truly begun to rise. In addition to these juniors, there are also 3 elders from the older generation who have broken through to the level of the great emperor. Now, including Shu Chengqing, there are as many as 7 emperors in the entire original Holy Land. However, the original Holy Land is also facing a great crisis from the outside world. 400 years ago, strong men in the Shuangguang world discovered the rise of the original world. Within 400 years, the Shuangguang Great World sent wave after wave of monks to attack the original Great World, but they were all resisted by the original Great World. But now, things are getting worse. Over the Shuangguang Great World, there has been no Daoist level powerful person appearing in the past hundreds of years. It is said that it is because all the powerful Daoist level and above in the Shuangguang Great World have gone to the Guangming world. After 500 years of practice, Tianyangzi has gone further and further to the level of the Great Emperor, but there is still a long way to go before the level of the Daoist. Not only him, but also several other ancestors who became emperors. Being able to become a great emperor is already their limit, and they cannot break through it in a short time. At this moment, they once again felt the amazing talent of this generation of Holy Master Shu Chengqing. In 500 years, they have never seen Shu Chengqing again, but there is no doubt that this Daoist level powerhouse must have become stronger. Ancestors, what's wrong? There are more than a dozen powerful emperors appearing in the Sea of Boundaries. Suddenly, shocking news came out of the Imperial soldiers' void realm. All the powerful emperors stood up instantly, and then their faces turned pale. Has the Shuangguang world finally exerted its power? Their original world was still much weaker than it was 200,000 years ago. 200,000 years ago, in the original world, there were 3 powerful emperors, more than a dozen powerful Daoists, and more than 50 emperors. But now, there are only a few of them among the big cats and kittens. More than a dozen great emperors, and possibly even a Daoist-level Jadao emperor. How can we stop this? At this moment, Su Tianj, who had become the quasi-emperor in the next song, smiled coldly. What are you afraid of? There are only a dozen great emperors, and my original Holy Land is not bad either. He waved his hand suddenly, and 2 extremely powerful auras of law appeared in the entire hall. Next to Su Tianj, 2 middle-aged men with expressionless faces appeared. The law aura on their bodies was vast and traceless, and all the senior officials of the original Holy Land were horrified. Is this Dao Zun? No, something is wrong with them. Su Tianj bowed to the 2 middle-aged men. Please 2 seniors, please help me solve the catastrophe of the original Holy Land. The 2 of them nodded gently to Su Tianj, then disappeared. When they reappeared, they were already within the Boundary Sea. Everyone in the original Holy Land looked horrified. Holy Sun, where did these powerful Daoists come from? How could they listen to you? Su Tianj smiled proudly. Of course, this is the method left behind by the master. The 2 of them are actually puppets, obeying the instructions of the master. A puppet at the level of the great emperor. How can this be? No wonder the auras of these 2 people were a little weird. All the powerful men above the quasi-emperor level looked at each other and felt a chill coming from them. Shu Chengqing must have killed these puppets of the Jadao emperor, and then used all possible means to make them into puppets. What a cruel method. But their buttocks were tilted towards the original world, and they were all overjoyed at this moment. However, they really misunderstood Shu Chengqing. The puppet of the Jadao emperor came from the system. Shu Chengqing was not that boring to make mere Daoist puppets. Let's go together to suppress the emperor of Shuangguang world. The power of the world laws of several great emperors formed a void, leading everyone outside the Boundary Sea in just an instant. The existence of the Boundary Sea blocks the original world and the Shuangguang world. Only those who are above the 6th level of Quasi-Emperor can cross the Boundary Sea. However, the battle at this moment is almost over. Although more than a dozen great emperors have appeared in the Shuangguang world, the puppets at the Daoist level still have the power to crush them. One Jadao emperor is comparable to 20 ordinary emperors. No, There are actually powerful people at the Daoist level in this original world. Retreat first. You guys from the original world are so brave. The 3 Daoist masters from my Shuangguang world are about to arrive. If you don't come out to greet them quickly, there is still a way to survive. I, the sect master of Shuangguang Zongzong, Emperor Xuanming, has received help from the great world of light. He will become a true immortal just around the corner. Your original great world is destined to perish. Many strong men in the original Holy Land looked at all this coldly. They had been fighting with the Shuangguang Great World for millions of years. How could the other party let go of the weak original Great World? In the past, it was because of the barrier of Tianyuan land, but in the past 500 years, it was just because the high-level officials of Shuangguang World went to the bright world of 3,000 worlds. The Great World of Light, ranked 53rd among the 3,000 Great Worlds, has the inheritance of true immortals, and can steadily output powerful true immortals in every generation. Even in the heyday of the original world, it was far inferior. It is said that the powerful emperor of Shuangguang World went to the distant Great World of Light to congratulate the birthday of a powerful true immortal, in an attempt to obtain the liquid Taichu immortal chi from the Great World of Light. The authentic sect master of Shuangguang sect, Emperor Xuanming, also wants to break through the shackles and achieve true immortality. The 2 emperor puppets didn't care about the background of Shuangguang World. After only half an hour, only a few emperors of Shuangguang World were left alive. As for the other great emperors, the emperor's blood and the emperor's laws all fell on the boundary sea. Stop it, where did this little guy come from, dare to massacre the powerful emperor of our Shuangguang world? From outside the boundary sea, there was a shocking roar, and the entire boundary sea surged, as if something big was about to happen. The 3 vague figures took action angrily across the huge boundary sea and rescued several other great emperors from the hands of the 2 Daoist puppets. The people in the original Holy Land were horrified, staring at the powerful men who were constantly crossing over. That is the great Dao Emperor at the Daoist level. Except for Xu Chengqing, no one else in the original Holy Land can practice to this level. Get ready to fight. All the emperors of the original Holy Land are risking their lives. The 3 Daoists, as long as a few of them can block one of them together, they can still maintain a balance. The 3 great emperors snorted coldly at the same time. It turns out to be a fake Daoist. The laws of the world in your 2 bodies are much worse than those of the real Daoist. The Yakuza Emperor puppet given by the system is actually weaker than the real Yakuza Emperor. After all, it lacks the drive of true consciousness. Go to hell. Suddenly the melee started again, and Tianyangzi and other great emperors also faced one of the Daoist masters. Su Qingshe and others who were far away in the space vault had already felt that the situation was extremely serious, and now they could only summon their master. Before Xu Chengqing left, she gave her a communication jade slip. As long as she was stimulated, Xu Chengqing could return across the border. At this moment, Xu Chengqing's body, which was far away in the chaotic plane outside the Forbidden World, suddenly trembled in consciousness. Qingshe contacted me. But I can't leave at the critical moment of breaking through to the true immortal. In this case, let's use his past clone to destroy the Shuangguang world and complete the system mission. Deep in the boundary sea between the original world and the Shuangguang world, the entire boundary sea shook, and the laws of the Great Avenue resounded throughout the space. The boundary sea is not completely silent. On the contrary, there are still many immortal creatures, and there were even many emperor-level creatures before. It's just that this world sea was destroyed by the war between several big worlds 200,000 years ago. Now the remaining creatures have been affected by the battle at the emperor level, and the entire world sea is in chaos. Suddenly, the law of the Great Avenue was annihilated. The emperor in the original Holy Land could not bear it. The entire emperor's body was penetrated by the Daoist opposite, and he was only one step away from being completely annihilated. Tianyangzi and others also looked horrified. The gap between ordinary emperors and Jidao emperors cannot be bridged by just a few emperors. What's even worse is that the 2 Daoist puppets are also retreating steadily and are no match for the Daoist of the Shuangguang Great World. You ordinary emperors have done a great job in stopping me from waiting for so long. Contribute all the laws of the Great Law in your body to us. They all belong to the Taichu universe, and the power of world laws is universal. Some great emperors naturally have the ability to plunder the world laws of other great emperors, but the conversion rate is very low. Tianyangzi and others smiled coldly at this moment. Don't be complacent, my holy master of the original Holy Land, Xu Changqing, is a genius. When he comes back, it will be the end of your Shuangguang world. The three Daoists looked at each other and laughed at the same time. Xu Changqing. We also know that this junior, who broke through to the Daoist level 500 years ago, is indeed a first-class genius. It's only 500 years. We can retreat for thousands of years just once. Can he break through to the emperor level in 500 years? What a pity for this talent. I, the Xuanming emperor of the Shuangguang sect, have specifically ordered me to capture Xu Changqing and completely cut off the fate of the original Holy Land. The emperor of the Shuangguang Great World calculated that all the fortunes of the original Holy Land are now concentrated on Xu Changqing. As long as he is killed, the entire original Great World will be vulnerable. If Emperor Xuanming had not just returned from the Great World of Light and was anxious to break through to the level of a true immortal, he would even personally capture and kill Xu Changqing, bringing a perfect end to the millions of years of struggle between the two great worlds. Everyone in the original Holy Land looked gloomy. It turned out that the Shuangguang Great World had long been eyeing Xu Changqing. Hurry up and let that junior Xu Changqing come out, or we will directly slaughter the entire original world. The two Daoist puppets could no longer hold up. The laws of the Tao in their bodies gradually dissipated, and their cultivation level was about to degrade to the level of an ordinary emperor. However, the two Daoist masters from the Shuangguang world looked horrified. This is a puppet. This is a puppet of the great emperor. How is it possible? Another Daoist of the Shuangguang Great World also felt incredible. The strong man who had been entangled with the two Daoists for a long time turned out to be a puppet. No wonder they feel that their great law is a little abnormal. The puppet of the great emperor shows that someone has killed at least two Dao lords and wiped out their spiritual consciousness while retaining most of the laws of the Dao. This ability can only be achieved by at least a strong person at the emperor level. Quote. The three of them looked at each other and felt that some things were beyond their control. Deal with all these people first, and then look for Xu Changqing's footprints. At this moment, the three of them really started to get serious. In just a moment, all the emperors of the original Holy Land swallowed blood and their bodies were knocked away to the original world. The original Holy Land must be destroyed today. The three Daoists crossed the boundary sea and covered the entire original world with one hand. The doomsday natural disaster is about to come. Su Qingxie in the distant space suddenly shouted, "Master, please show up." Her words penetrated the space vault and reached the ears of the three Daoist masters and several other original emperors. Everyone was shocked to find that the starry sky around them began to wrinkle, and the overlapping points formed space breakpoints. At the intersection of countless space breakpoints, as if spanning countless time and space, a figure in a blue robe walked out from the breakpoint of time and space. With every step he took, countless time and space breakpoints collapsed, and after overlapping, they formed the figure of a young man. After this figure arrived, even several other Daoists felt that their own Daoist laws were being suppressed. This is he Xu Changqing, the contemporary holy master of the original Holy Land. Su Qingxie and Su Tianj jumped up from the space, and then knelt in front of Xu Changqing. Both of them had tears in their eyes. "Master, we haven't seen you for 500 years. We miss you so much." Other strong men in the original Holy Land also expressed infinite hope. As long as Xu Changqing appeared, all disasters would be solved. This was the feeling Xu Changqing gave people 500 years ago. The Xu Changqing who appears here is of course not his true body. The true body is at a critical moment and cannot escape at all. And to deal with the current Shuangguang world, the main body does not need to take action. The avatar of him who appears here at this moment is Xu Changqing's cultivation before he entered the Forbidden World 500 years ago. He has a realm close to the level of an emperor, but his strength is far beyond that of an ordinary emperor. Because his body contains 1/3 of the true immortal laws given by the original body. Are you Xu Changqing? At this level, you are about to become an emperor. Now the original Holy Land can actually give birth to a person with such great luck like you. It's a pity that you were born in the original Holy Land and you are the original sin. Today, we will join forces to kill you, and then destroy the entire original world. The grievances between our two big worlds will be resolved today. The Tao laws on the three people opened up, and 6 caves of cultivation were displayed in front of everyone. Various Tao laws were twisted on them. Once exploded, it would be enough to destroy the entire 8-star world. The other emperors of the original Holy Land temporarily recovered, and now they all looked at the 3 Daoist masters with great horror. If these 3 Daoist masters just showed their strength, ordinary emperors like them would not be able to hold on for long. The difference is too obvious. Various Tao laws evolved from the caves of the 3 people rushed towards Shu Changqing, and the Jidao Emperor soldiers in their hands moved together. However, Shu Changqing looked at the 3 people calmly, and then looked at the distant starry sky. It is indeed going to be solved, but are your Shuangguang world ready? While speaking, Shu Changqing stretched out a finger and pressed it gently, causing the entire time and space to come to a standstill. That finger seemed to contain infinite magic power, and with just a slight scratch in the void, all the attacks of the Great Law were shattered. At the same time, the 3 Daoists totaled 18 caves. At this moment, small cracks appeared on the caves. The crack gradually spread and then exploded like broken glass. A strong man at the Daoist level, the world of endogenous evolution, collapsed under Shu Changqing's random attack. As the great emperor of Jida, the end of the inner world also means the end of life. What? How could it be so powerful? The immortal law, he hasn't broken through the emperor yet. Where did such a strong immortal law come from? The caves at the Daoist level already possess some spirituality to a certain extent, but these 18 cave worlds exploded in an instant. Ah! A shrill scream came from the mouths of 3 powerful Daoists from the Shuangguang world. The power of the law of the Great Avenue collapsed and was scattered directly in the original world. It was then absorbed by the heavenly law of the original world, which enhanced the strength of the original world in disguise. The 18 cave worlds returned to nothingness, and even the powerful ones at the Daoist level disappeared between heaven and earth. The sky and the earth roared, and the torrential blood mist descended, as if crying for the powerful Jidao Emperor. It wasn't until a long time ago that the entire original world returned to peace. Dead. The Jidao Emperor died like this. Oh my God, that's the great emperor. Everyone in the original world was still in a state of confusion. It was not until Shu Changqing threw the 3 balls of matter in his hand at Yuan Yang, Chu Tai, and Tian Yangzi that everyone reacted. Are those 3 masses of matter the power of the world's laws condensed by the Holy Lord using the Emperor's art of heaven? 3 Daoists are really dead. The matter that fell into the hands of the 3 ordinary emperors was the power of the world's laws transformed by Shu Changqing's secret method. At this moment, he did not carry the immortal weapon World Tree, so he could only use the emperor-level technique of the original Holy Land, the Emperor Tianju, to condense the power of the world's laws and provide it to the 3 emperors of the original Holy Land. Of course, the effect of this method is not as good as the ability of the World Tree, but Patriarch Yuanyang originally wanted to use this method to gather the power of the world's laws for Shu Changqing, but it was a pity that the latter could not use it at all. This, Lord Holy Lord, you need the power of these world laws more. The 3 of them shook their heads together. The current situation was very clear. Their entire original world relied on Shu Changqing. As long as he doesn't fall, it won't matter even if all the new emperors die. Shu Changqing, who he transformed into, slowly shook his head. The power of the world's laws was no longer of any use to him. At this moment, the voice of the system came from his mind. Go to the 9-star primary school and sign in at the Shuangguang world. The host will be rewarded with 3 true immortal talismans, 10 blue blood creation pills, and 100 world points. The mission of the Shuangguang world has existed since the ancient times of the Forbidden World, and it was only now that Shu Changqing had time to deal with it. He looked at the people in the original Holy Land indifferently. I'm going to the Shuangguang world and I'll be back soon. Everyone suddenly became extremely horrified. Now go directly to the Shuangguang world. Many quasi-emperors couldn't help but say, Lord Holy Lord, the Shuangguang world is even more powerful than the original world 200,000 years ago. There must be more than one powerful emperor. How about we directly distribute the Jidao Emperor's immortal realm in the Boundary Sea, which can delay the invasion of the Shuangguang world? Saint Su Tianj snorted coldly. You guys, how dare you question the power of my master? What a great world of Shuangguang, it's just a chicken and a dog. He has mysterious confidence in Xu Changqing. Not only him, but also Su Qingxie, Zan Kong, Tian Yangxi and others all showed their talents. Xu Changqing dared to go to the Xuanguang world alone, he must have his own trump card. Just like the previous puppet of the great emperor, maybe there are other powerful people helping Xu Changqing. As for Xu Changqing's own strength, they didn't think much about it. After all, the current Holy Lord has only been practicing for 1,000 years, so he is still far from the level of an immortal. Xu Changqing looked at these powerful men in the original Holy Land and took them into his cave with a wave of his hand. That's all, you just stay in my cave. When the Xuanguang world is destroyed, it's up to you how much world power you can plunder. The emperor can use the power of the world's laws to derive his own cave sky, which is actually a world. It's just that although this world is self-contained, it has no spirituality and cannot derive all things. Only by truly reaching the level of a true immortal can one use the laws of the true immortal to truly evolve the cave world in the body into a spiritual independent time and space, and continue to make this independent time and space grow. True immortals can use their own spiritual independent time and space to access various powerful laws of the Tao, which are infinitely powerful. His current avatar is only at the Daoist level, but it is easy to bring dozens of people into the cave. Destroy the Xuanguang world. Everyone in Xu Changqing cave heaven was deeply shocked. The Holy Lord actually wanted to destroy the Xuanguang world. Even if he has the cultivation level of Emperor Zun, he can't do it. A huge space-time vortex once again appeared on the edge of the boundary sea. System: spend 20 world points and go to the Xuanguang world. Although the Xuanguang Great World and the original Great World are not far apart, there is a boundary sea between them. Xu Changqing, who has not yet become a true immortal, needs a day to cross the boundary sea. He couldn't wait anymore and spent the world value directly to reach the Xuanguang world. In the Xuanguang world at this moment, the Xuanguang Zhengzong, which dominates all forces, is filled with joy. Emperor Xuanming, the authentic sect leader of the Xuanguang sect and the most powerful person in the Xuanguang world, today is his 600,000th birthday, and all the forces in the Xuanguang world have come to congratulate him. Not only the Xuanguang Great World, but also a dozen other great worlds close to the Xuanguang Great World sent powerful men above the level of the Great Emperor to celebrate his birthday. The level of each of these big worlds is no lower than the current original big world. They are all among the top 1,000-3,000 worlds in the Taichu universe. Of course, there are more envoys from the middle thousand worlds, but they are not valued by everyone. Emperor Xuanming not only reached the peak of the Great Emperor's realm in cultivation, but not long ago he also received a huge amount of liquid immortal energy as a gift from the Great World of Light, which was enough for him to condense the true immortal law and break through to the true immortal. No one knows how Emperor Xuanming gained the favor of the Great World of Light, and the other party was actually willing to pay such a high price for the Great World of Xuanming. Perhaps, after thousands of years, the Xuanguang world can become a world with true immortals. Once there are powerful true immortals, Xuanguang world will jump to the top 120 of the 3,000 worlds. Not only that, only a big world with powerful true immortals can be favored by the Taichu immortal world and can be lowered into the Taichu golden list. There are only 100 people on the Taichu golden list, corresponding to 100 big worlds. There are two conditions for entering the gold list. One is that there are true immortals in the big world, and the other is that there is a vacancy in the quota. In the great worlds on the mortal list, true immortals are immortal and have continuous inheritance. They are blessed by the Taichu immortal world and receive various rewards. Because of this, the great worlds under the Taichu golden list are more likely to give birth to strong men. The powerful true immortals who belong to the great world even have the possibility of taking a step closer to breaking through from true immortals to heavenly immortals. Once you break through the realm of heavenly immortals and know heaven and immortals, you can open the door to the Taichu immortal realm, which is the yearning place for billions of creatures under the banner of the universe. A place where you can truly achieve immortality and eternity. Within these 3,000 realms, even the powerful celestial immortals can only live for millions of years. However, in the Taichu immortal realm, immortality substances are everywhere. In theory, immortality can really be achieved. In the big world on the list, if a powerful true immortal dies unfortunately, the Taichu immortal realm will protect this big world for millions of years. Unless within this million years, there is no more powerful true immortal in the world, he will be deprived of the gold list. Millions of years ago, the powerful true immortal of Hengsha world who ranked 83rd on the Taichu gold list fell. In their millions of years, no other powerful person has broken through to true immortal. Therefore, Hengsha world is about to be deprived of its ranking on the Taichu gold list. Then there will be one spot left on the gold list, and other big worlds with true immortals will be crazy about it. Who doesn't want to be blessed by the Taichu immortal world? Once he, the Xuanming Emperor, breaks through to the level of a true immortal, he will also be eligible to compete for the gold list. Once successful, not only will the entire Xuanguang world be protected, but more importantly, Emperor Xuanming will have a connection with the Taichu immortal world. The third prince of the Guangming Empire of the Great World of Light comes to wish Emperor Xuanming a happy birthday. The light outside the Xuanguang Great World flashed, the heaven and the earth roared, and all the people in the Xuanguang Great World fell silent instantly. In their sight, a carriage suddenly appeared from outside the Xuanguang world. This carriage crossed countless distances and reached the sky above Xuanguang Zhengzong in an instant, causing countless people to be shocked. That is an emperor-level dragon horse with a trace of true dragon blood. It is extremely powerful. Oh my god, they actually used the great emperor as a bull and horse. Who gave them the courage? Aren't they afraid that the powerful people in the Dragon King world will cause trouble for them? In the world of the Dragon King, true dragons are the most respected, and there are countless other dragon species. Haha, that is the Empire of Light in the Great World of Light. Like the Great World of the Dragon King, they are both great worlds under the Taichu Golden List. Emperor Xuanming and everyone in Xuanguang Zhengzong stood up instantly, looking extremely excited. I'm here to pay my respects to the envoy of the Bright Empire. I didn't expect that it was you, the third prince, who came in person. The dragons and horses on the carriage neighed, and a group of people emerged from behind the carriage. Emperor Xuanming and others hurried forward to greet them. The leader was an aristocratic young man who actually exuded the power of powerful world laws at the level of an emperor. Emperor Xuanming, there is no need to be polite. My father asked me to come to the Xuanguang world to celebrate my birthday. I hope you will not disappoint the expectations of my bright empire. Everyone in Xuanguang Zhengzong was extremely moved. This bright world was ranked 53rd on the Taichu Golden List, and contained more than one powerful true immortal. And this time when Emperor Xuanming was in his prime, he actually sent the third prince of the Guangming Empire to come. This shows that the Guangming Empire attaches great importance to the Xuanguang world. Not only that, the 5 people behind the third prince are all powerful men at the Daoist level, and one of them has also reached the emperor level. This is the third prince's emperor level protector. Emperor Xuanming was excited. These 3 princes had achieved the status of emperor in less than 10,000 years and were also super geniuses in the bright world. There is no such genius in their Xuanguang world. Suddenly Emperor Xuanming's heart moved. I heard that their old enemy, the great original world, has resurrected. The current original Holy Lord has only been practicing for 300 years, but he has already achieved the position of Daoist master. Why didn't this kind of talent come from the Xuanguang world? The original Holy Lord must be strangled in the cradle. As for the original world, Emperor Xuanming has long ignored it. In addition to Emperor Xuanming, Xuanguang Zhengzong has 3 other people who have also reached the emperor level, but they cannot complete the 12 caves. Even if they are given liquid immortal energy, they cannot reach the level of true immortals. But even so, there are now 4 emperors in the Xuanguang Zhengzong, and there are more than a dozen powerful ones at the Daoist level. The original world has restored its scenery of 200,000 years ago, and it is no match for the Xuanguang world. What's more, behind him stands the bright world. The banquet was filled with people drinking, and they were so happy. The arrival of the bright empire added a lot of glory to Emperor Xuanming. Suddenly, the face of a Daoist-level supreme elder behind Emperor Xuanming suddenly changed. A strong person at the Daoist level cannot show his emotions, and he should not show such an expression even if the world is falling apart. Of course Emperor Xuanming noticed it and frowned immediately. Dao Zun Xuanti, what's wrong? Are you so rude in front of the third prince? The supreme elder Zan Tai Dao Zun trembled and said, the jade slips of the 3 supreme elders Zan Gang and others were broken, and the laws of the great Dao were broken. They are already dead. As soon as these words came out, all the guests present fell silent. The death of a strong man at the Daoist level is a big deal, and the entire Xuanming Zhengzong only has a dozen or so people. Emperor Xuanming's face darkened at a speed visible to the naked eye, but seeing that the messengers from the Bright Empire were there, he did not have an attack for the time being. The laws of heaven belonging to the emperor level are constantly being calculated, but the two Daoists died in the original world. Since he had not become a true immortal, he could only deduce that these three Daoists had died and disappeared, but could not deduce the details. The third prince of the Guangming Empire also frowned. Someone dares to kill the powerful Dao master of the Xuanguang world. Could it be other big worlds under the Taichu Golden List? Since the news that Hengsha world will be deprived of the Taichu Gold List, Guangming world has actively attracted other big worlds that may enter the Taichu Gold List in order to enhance its voice in the 3000 worlds. This Xuanguang world is one of their investments. Emperor Xuanming took a deep breath. What makes everyone in the Guangming Empire laugh is that it is not the other big worlds on the Taichu Golden List, but my former arch-rival of Xuanguang Zhengzong, the original big world. The original big world. Everyone in the Xuanguang world looked in disbelief. Didn't the original world fall long ago? How could they have the strength to kill the great emperor? It turns out to be the original world, and it is indeed the life and death enemy of my Xuanguang's act for millions of years. But the third prince of the Bright Empire showed doubts. He was convinced that among the 100 worlds under the Taichu Golden List, there was no original world. However, the old man at the emperor level behind him chuckled. I didn't expect that the original world still exists and has the strength to kill strong men at the Dao level. It really surprises me. The third prince looked at the old man behind him. Mr. Qin, do you also know about the original world? Mr. Qin still had a smile on his face, but his eyes became sharp. 200,000 years ago, the Empire of Light contacted Yuan Qing, the Holy Lord of the original Holy Land, and wanted to help him break through to the true immortal. Unexpectedly, Emperor Yuan Qing refused. Does he think he can open the door of Zanni by himself? Obtain the inheritance of Zanni Golden Immortal. The 3000 Great World has existed for countless years and has various inheritance places. This Zanni inheritance comes from an extremely ancient figure in the Taichu immortal world. Even the immortals want to get the treasure in this Zanni gate. Mr. Qin's face became cold. That's why we chose to cooperate with Xuanguang Great World, don't you think so, Emperor Xuanming? The Xuanming Emperor's eyelids jumped. It was precisely because of the Yuanqing Emperor's rejection that the current Xuanguang world came into being. The Xuanguang Great World 200,000 years ago and the other two Great Worlds were not as powerful as the original Great World. But because of the support of the Great World of Light, the result was that the world level of the original Great World fell by a large level, and all the powerful emperors died. If it weren't for the sudden appearance of the Tianyuan land, the original world would have perished 200,000 years ago. In fact, the land of Tianyuan is nothing to Emperor Xuanming, but the powerful true immortals of the Bright Empire specifically stated that the land of Tianyuan cannot be touched, otherwise a great disaster will occur. There must be a terrifying secret behind this Tianyuan land. Mr. Qin said coldly again. The land of Tianyuan is no longer there, so we don't need to worry about it. Emperor Xuanming, our great world of light does not want the great original world to survive any longer. Do you understand what we mean? Ever since Emperor Yuan Qing rejected the great world of light 200,000 years ago, the entire original Holy Land has been on the blacklist. Emperor Xuanming nodded. At the end of today, I will personally go to the original world to dedicate the brilliant fireworks belonging to the original world to the third prince and Emperor Qin. Several people looked at each other and smiled slightly. Really, if you want to see the brilliant fireworks of my original world, I'm afraid you won't have the chance. But if you think about it differently, you might be able to see the brilliant fireworks in the Xuanguang world. The sudden sound appeared in the ears of everyone in Xuanguang Zhengzong. At the same time, a huge rolling whirlpool appeared in the distant horizon, and the sound just now came from here. Everyone looked at the huge whirlpool in horror, and a young man in a green gown walked out of it, looking like an immortal. He took one step at a time, and when he reappeared, he was already on top of Zhongguang Zhengzong's head. The surging power of the world's laws emerged from his body in circles, exuding a terrifying aura. The great emperor dragon and horse roaming on the horizon let out a low cry of fear, and fell to the ground in such fear. The third prince of the bright world's face darkened. Someone dared to threaten his mount. They were simply seeking death. Who is that? Is it the Daoist level? HMPH. It doesn't matter what level you are at, Daoist master. If you dare to come to my Shuangguang Zhongzong and act wildly, you are simply seeking death. No, look at the expressions of Emperor Zun and others. This person is not an ordinary Dao Zun strong man. Except for the Emperor Xuanming, the other three emperors of the Shuangguang sect all felt their hearts sinking. This young man who had just appeared did not seem to have reached the emperor level in cultivation, but for some unknown reason, it gave them a sense of extreme danger. Who is your excellency? Are you here to wish me a birthday? Emperor Xuanming didn't show much of anything unusual. This young man was quite knowledgeable, and his real strength was already comparable to that of Emperor Zan. But he is no ordinary emperor. He is a powerful person who has completed the 12 caves and is about to enter the level of true immortal. Countless people looked at the young man who looked like an immortal. What? Emperor Xuanming doesn't know me. In my original world, Shuangguang Zhongzong is like thunder. His words were equivalent to revealing his identity, which immediately made everyone look horrified. He is from the original world. I know it. He is Shu Changqing, the Holy Lord of the original Holy Land. Impossible. Then Shu Changqing has only practiced for 1,000 years, how can he have a cultivation level comparable to that of an emperor? How can it be possible for a mere primitive world to have such a super genius? Emperor Xuanming's eyes suddenly revealed a bright light. You are Shu Changqing, the holy master of this generation of the original Holy Land. Did you kill our holy sect, Shuangguang and 3 other Daoist masters? At this moment, the voice of the system came from Shu Changqing's mind. Congratulations to the host for completing the check into the Shuangguang world. The host will be rewarded with 100 energy points, 3 true immortal talismans, and 20 jade blood creation pills. The true immortal talisman, within 2 hours after use, stimulates all the potential power of the emperor and the powerful, condenses the complete true immortal law, and makes the strength jump to the true immortal level. With the blue blood creation pill, the success rate of overcoming the great emperor's tribulation is increased by 30%. Congratulations to the host for starting the Shuangguang world mission. 1. The host leaves his own footprints in all eras of the Shuangguang world. The host will be rewarded with 50 bottles of liquid fairy energy and 50 points of world value. 2. Integrate the Shuangguang world into the original world. Reward the host with a 2-level improvement in cultivation, and reward 100 points of world value. In the Bright World, the third prince of the Bright Empire also put away his condescending expression, with a look of disbelief on his face. You said that he has only practiced for 1,000 years and has reached the peak of the Daoist level, comparable to the combat power of the Emperor level. He was breathing rapidly, clenching his fists, and his heart was filled with reluctance and jealousy. His third prince, Jiyu Tianhua, was gifted and qualified to aspire to be the Emperor of the Bright Empire. The Emperor of the Bright Empire has a complete inheritance of true immortals. As long as he does not die accidentally, the Emperor of the Bright Empire represents a powerful true immortal. But it took him almost 10,000 years to reach the level of the Great Emperor. This Holy Lord, who was born in the low-level world, is actually about to reach the level of the Emperor. If he can have this kind of strength now, the position of the Bright Empire will definitely belong to him. As if sensing the third prince's emotions, the protector Mr. Qin quickly comforted him. Third prince, this Shu Changqing is just a commoner in the mountains and fields. Even if he takes the lead for a while, he will only be worth a handful of lois in the end. While he was speaking, Emperor Xuanming had already blocked the entire sky. Shu Changqing, very good. Who gave you the courage to come to the Shuangguang world alone? Are you here to die? Several people around Emperor Xuanming suddenly jumped into the sky. Several cave heaven powers emerged from around the body, and various laws of the Great Avenue were embedded in the cave heaven world. This is a powerful person at the Shuangguang Zongzong level. The strongest person's cave has even reached 7 levels. Go to hell, Shu Changqing sneered, and everyone in the original Holy Land in one of the caves suddenly felt that the extremely powerful power of the Great Law was leaking from the cave. In just an instant, it floated up to the entire Shuangguang Zhongzong, and the 8 black sun-like caves seemed to turn into the light of stars, covering up several big suns in the Shuangguang world. The 8 cave gods are really just a little short of becoming an emperor. The Holy Lord of the original Holy Land is so terrifying. The attacks of those Daoist masters stopped instantly, and the hands of the Daoist law suddenly reached forward. All the Daoist masters of the Shuangguang authentic sect felt a great fear coming over them. They are also at the Daoist level, and the gap between them and Shu Chengqing is more than a star. Stop. The other 3 emperor masters of Shuangguang Zhengzong could no longer bear it. Originally, they wanted to wait and see. It was embarrassing enough for their Shuangguang Zhengzong people to besiege a junior, but there were many envoys from other big worlds here. The spread of the news will bring a bad reputation to Zhongguang Zhengzong. But in just this moment, their Shuangguang authentic Daoist master fell into a big crisis. If he didn't intervene, everyone would die. A total of 10 cave heaven powers emerged from the 3 powerful men. This is the sign of the powerful emperor. Shu Chengqing's attack condensed through the Great Law was blocked, and there was a burst of explosions in the sky, and everyone looked shocked. A Daoist master actually defeated 3 powerful men at the level of Emperor Master. Even if Shu Chengqing died, it would still be enough to leave a legendary story. But the shocking things are yet to come. Among the laws of the Great Road between Shu Chengqing and the 3 emperors. From within Shu Chengqing's cave, a faint white entwining ring emerged. The power of this ring-shaped law is only 30 centimeters, but the moment it appears, it corrodes and destroys the 3 emperors' great laws, and even extends into the 3 emperors' caves with the great laws. Ah, impossible, this is the meaning of the decline of the law of death. How can you understand the law of life and death? The expressions of Emperor Xuanming and Emperor Qin, who were originally very calm, turned horrified. That is the law of life and death under the immortal law. Only by understanding part of the true immortal law can you possess it. He has not even reached the emperor level. This Shu Chengqing has the possibility of becoming a true immortal, we must not let him live. Emperor Xuanming no longer maintains his identity, and all the power of the cave in his body emerges. A total of 12 cave worlds appeared in front of him, and each cave world contained the power of various great laws. This is the time when the emperor's level is complete, and he has the 12 cave worlds. Of course, like Shu Chengqing, the body has 20 cave heavens at the emperor level, which is simply unheard of in ancient times. Time, space, creation, heaven, the world, and the power of the entwining true immortal law. Emperor Xuanming has surprisingly also condensed the true immortal law, and at least half of it has been completed. With his hand, he differentiated the law of life from the true immortal law he had condensed, and lifted the law of death from the 3 emperors. The other 3 emperors suddenly showed expressions of rebirth after the disaster, but their eyes were still looking at Shu Chengqing in horror. The power of the true immortal law cannot be resisted even by the emperor. Very good. I didn't expect that a big shot like you would appear in the original world. You are even more powerful than the original Yuanqing emperor. True immortal law. Where did the Holy Lord get the liquid fairy energy? Patriarch Yuanyang and others in Shu Chengqing's cave once again looked horrified. No wonder their holy master dared to come to the Shuangguang world alone. But to condense the true immortal law, you must have the immortal energy of the Taichu immortal world, which is the liquid immortal energy. At that time, Emperor Yuan and Qing dynasty got some liquid immortal energy by chance. It is because he has condensed a trace of the true immortal law that he can fight against the reinforcements from the other 3 worlds and the great world of light on his own. But now, Shu Chengqing's immortal law is even more powerful than the original Yuanqing emperor. How lucky was their original Holy Land to have a figure like Shu Chengqing appear. On the great world of Shuangguang, 2 incomplete laws of true immortality collided, resulting in various laws of destruction, life and death, world and other laws. The 2 had collided countless times during the fight, and the other 3 emperors suddenly fell from the sky. They do not have the laws of true immortals and cannot intervene in the battle between Shu Chengqing and Emperor Xuanming. The entire Shuangguang world shook violently, as if a big explosion was about to occur, and everyone showed a look of extreme fear. Countless stars exploded in the distance, and the entire Shuangguang Zhengzong was in a mess, with countless casualties. Fellow Daoist Qin, please help me, Shuangguang Zhengzong. When I kill this junior, there will be retribution. The battle between 2 monks who possess some of the true immortal laws is enough to destroy a 9-star primary world like the Shuangguang world. If this continues, even if Xu Changqing can be killed, Shuangguang Zhengzong will be destroyed. The Emperor Qin of the Great World of Light suddenly swelled up and turned into a gigantic ape. On the ape man's body, 12 caves suddenly appeared. Above the caves, there were also white chain-like laws entangled. He was also a powerful emperor who condensed some of the true immortal laws. Fellow Daoist Xuanming, as long as I am here, Shuangguang Zhengzong will be fine. While speaking, the giant ape man suddenly waved his hands forward, as if the entire space had jumped. The entire Shuangguang Zhengzong and even the entire Shuangguang world decreased at a speed visible to the naked eye, causing the bodies of Xu Changqing and Emperor Xuanming to expand in disguise. The two of them had unknowingly left the Shuangguang world and appeared in the starry sky of the universe. The Emperor Qin used an extremely terrifying force of time and space to expel the two of them from the Shuangguang world. Xu Changqing, I have no fear anymore, I will die. Emperor Xuanming unleashed all the laws of the Tao in his hands. With no restrictions, he punched and kicked, and countless stars fell and exploded around him. And Xu Changqing was not to be outdone. The silk-like white lines above the 8 caves suddenly stretched again, and the power of the true immortal law was unleashed. Around the Shuangguang world, there are many middle thousand worlds and small worlds, and they are all attached to the entire Shuangguang world. At this moment, under the battle between the two strong men, they were directly destroyed. Xu Changqing, do you want to know how this sect achieved the ultimate breakthrough? Haha, this sect got everything from Emperor Yuanqing, pulled out his muscles and bones, and then refined his true immortal law. The Xuanming Emperor 200,000 years ago was very ordinary and was no match for the Yuanqing Emperor. However, the strong men from the bright world secretly attacked the Yuan and Qing emperors, and a generation of peerless strong men died in hatred. Even the corpse was refined by Shuangguang world. I also gave the key to the mysterious lady that he possessed to the great world of light, in exchange for the blessing of the great world of light. Tell me your condensed inheritance of the true immortal law, and maybe I can let go of the original great world. Emperor Xuanming laughed wildly. The key to the mysterious female. It is rumored that 10 million years ago, there was an ancient golden immortal named Zan Ni who died in the folded space outside the 3000 worlds and Taichu immortal world, leaving a place with a strong inheritance. A mysterious female key has the opportunity to open up a small world outside the inheritance place. Collecting all the mysterious female keys can open all the relics in the inheritance place. At the beginning, the Yuan and Qing emperors owned 2 mysterious female keys, one of which was left in the original Holy Land. Only the 2 ancestors knew about it, and then gave it to Xu Changqing. The other one was acquired by Zan Ming after the death of Emperor Yuan and Qing dynasty. In exchange, it was given to Guangming world. This is the real reason why Guangming world is willing to help Shuangguang world. Hearing the fate of Emperor Xuanming, everyone in Xu Changqing's cave was filled with jealousy and wished they could swallow Emperor Xuanming. Even Xu Changqing showed a cold expression. Before he reached the level of Quasi-Emperor, it was undeniable that it was because of his own talent. More importantly, the original Holy Land provided him with a platform. The Yuanqing Emperor, whom he had never met before, was his predecessor. Very good, I have changed my mind. If I don't take out your great law, I will make you into a puppet of Emperor Zun and serve my original Holy Land forever. Emperor Xuanming simply couldn't believe his ears. He sneered. Xu Changqing, your condensed immortal law is weaker than mine, you are definitely no match for me. Fellow Daoist Qin, help me again, and we will work together to suppress this junior. Emperor Xuanming can defeat Xu Changqing, but it still takes a lot of time, for fear of something going wrong in the process. The emperor named Qin in the Shuangguang world came from the distant world of light. At this moment, he also looked at the 2 people fighting in the starry sky with a serious expression. The third prince beside him said in shock, this Xu Changqing has only practiced for 1,000 years, and has already condensed 1/3 of the laws of immortality. If he continues to practice, becoming a true immortal will definitely not be a problem. He was short of breath. Even if he could become the master of the bright world, he could still become a true immortal with a stable true immortal inheritance. But how can such a powerful true immortal compare to the true immortal he cultivated himself? The emperor surnamed Qin breathed a sigh of relief. This Xu Changqing is still too young. If he is exposed until he reaches the level of a true immortal, even my bright world will be in big trouble. Now haha, I'm going to help Emperor Xuanming, if possible, strip Xu Chengqing of all the laws of immortality. The third prince and other powerful men of Shuangguang Zhengzong showed excitement, as if they had seen Xu Chengqing's fate. Suddenly, there was a mysterious murmuring sound in the entire Shuangguang world. I have been to this world. In this world, Xuanyuan, Chongyuan, Taiyuan, each of these eras has left my footprints. So, I left my mark, and I'm about to return from the past. A series of murmurs came to everyone's ears, and the voice was extremely familiar. It was the voice of the original Holy Lord Xu Chengqing. But wasn't he fighting Emperor Xuanming outside the starry sky of the universe? Xuanyuan, Chongyuan, Taiyuan, aren't these the past eras of my Shuangguang world? Coming back soon, what do you mean? Emperor Qin suddenly changed his expression, and the entire Shuangguang world expanded again, and his mysterious power of time and space was directly destroyed. Xu Chengqing and Emperor Xuanming, who were fighting, returned to the Shuangguang world again, and Emperor Xuanming also heard mysterious murmurs. What did you do? He looked at Xu Chengqing opposite in horror, only to find that Xu Chengqing's entire body was shining. At the same time, the entire Shuangguang world trembled, and a figure in a blue gown appeared again from the distant sky. The aura on his body was exactly the same as that of Xu Chengqing before. And this is just the beginning. From different directions, at a certain time break, from different eras, figures in blue gowns come out one after another. A total of 10 figures crossed from the space, and then came to Xu Chengqing at the beginning. Congratulations to the host for leaving his own footprints in all eras of the Shuangguang world. The host will be rewarded with 50 bottles of liquid fairy energy and 50 points of world value. He transformed into the Supreme Immortal Sutra. The current Xu Chengqing body has not only practiced altering the past, but also practiced altering the present. As long as he has been to the Shuangguang world, he can transform through him and project his own figure in every era of the Shuangguang world. Then, through his incarnation, all the clones are concentrated at one point in time. Of course, if the clone entered the previous era and was destroyed, he would not be able to manifest the clone of this era. Just like being in the Blue Star universe, Xu Chengqing, who entered the Blue Star universe, was only at the Quasi-Emperor 9th level. He was destroyed by the power of the world just after he entered the great world of gods in the previous era. Each big world in the 3000 worlds has existed for an unknown amount of time, and each big world has experienced the alternation of multiple eras. Since the birth of the Shuangguang world, it has gone through a total of 11 eras. These 11 epochs are all within the tolerance of Xu Chengqing at the Daoist level. At this moment, everything is manifested through him, embodying the Shuangguang Zhengzong in the Shuangguang world. Of course, because he has not yet reached a deep level of cultivation, his past and present clones can only last for a short period of time. If he can practice to perfection, his past clones can even densely spread throughout the entire time of the Shuangguang world. At that time, no matter what era you enter the Shuangguang world, you will always find a Xu Chengqing waiting for you in the long river of time. There are 11 Xu Chengqings, one on top of another, distorted by the power of the world's laws, filling the entire space. At the same time, the 8 caves in the 11 Xu Chengqing's bodies all appeared, and each of them also carried 1/3 of the immortal law. Everyone looked extremely horrified. What magic is this? How come there are so many Xu Chengqings, and their cultivation levels and realms are exactly the same? Returning from the last era, our Shuangguang world has been born in a total of 11 eras. These people can't really be strong men who have returned from all the rivers of time. Impossible. How could there be such a weird and powerful technique? It's unheard of in ancient times. Emperor Qin of the Bright Empire showed a trembling look on his face. He came from the more ancient Dragon King world and knew many secrets. It is said that outside the Taichu universe, there is a supreme high-dimensional place called Hongmeng universe. There is a supreme immortal scripture. Among them, the immortal scripture called Yichihua Sanqing can manifest 3 identical characters. Did Xu Chengqing obtain this level of immortal sutra? The third prince was horrified, but inside he was extremely greedy. Mr. Qin, if our great world of light can obtain this immortal sutra, we will not be afraid of even the great world of Mingwang, the great world of Tianmen, and the great central world. The big worlds he listed were all among the top 10 on the Taichu Golden List, with powerful people who surpassed the level of true immortals. Emperor Qin nodded. Although these 11 Shu Chengqings were very powerful, it was very likely that even he and Emperor Xuanming would not be able to fight against them. But they have their own trump card. The third prince was blessed by the means of a true immortal and strong man. As for the first clone of Shu Chengqing, in one of the caves, everyone in the original Holy Land once again showed horrified expressions. Everyone's eyes were fixed on Shu Chengqing's disciple, Su Qingshe, who was now the Quasi-Emperor of the 6th level. Holy girl, are you sure that the person summoned by the teleportation jade slip is our Holy Lord? Su Qingshe was also confused. 500 years ago, Shu Chengqing gave her a teleportation jade slip before she left. When there was a life and death crisis in the original Holy Land, she crushed the jade slip without hesitation, and then Shu Chengqing appeared. But now there are 11 more Shu Chengqings. How to explain this? She and Zon Kong looked at each other and suddenly discovered something. Zon Kong, what's the problem? Zon Kong said hesitantly. I wonder if you have noticed that the Holy Lord has not used the magic weapon that surpassed the Jidao Emperor's weapon until now. A picture appeared on everyone's mind. Shu Chengqing in a blue gown, holding the unknown sapling in his left hand, turning over the clouds and rain with his right hand, absorbing all the laws of the Great Avenue. The breakthrough made by Tianyangzi and others at that time was the effect of the unknown magic weapon. Although Shu Chengqing did not say it directly, everyone was guessing that the sapling was probably a legendary fairy weapon, possessing the ability to perfectly absorb and transform the power of laws. Shu Chengqing destroyed the Shuangguang world, so there was no reason not to bring that mysterious sapling with him. Everyone looked at each other. Maybe the Shu Chengqing who appeared here was not his real body, but just avatars. They looked horrified. Where was the real Shu Chengqing? What is the real Shu Chengqing's current cultivation level? Impossible, this must be an illusion and fake. Emperor Xuanming roared crazily, all of which subverted his cognition. At this moment, Emperor Xuanming didn't believe what he was seeing at all. The immortal law in his body completely exploded, and he could no longer care about the so-called Shuangguang world. The incomplete laws of immortality have caused great turmoil in the Shuangguang world. All kinds of lightning, disasters, and laws are coming towards the 11 Shu Chengqing. But it also affected the entire Shuangguang world. All the creatures in the Shuangguang world, except for the dozens of people behind Emperor Qin, were wiped out in an instant by the explosion of the true immortal law. Countless star fields were destroyed, and various star residues were mixed into the black hole, causing another big explosion. In a short period of time, most of Shuangguang Zhengzong was destroyed due to the battle at the emperor level. The only gratifying thing is that the Shuangguang world has reached the early stage of the 9th level after all, and even attacks from the true immortal level will not be easily destroyed. However, the 11 Shu Chengqings raised their left hands at the same time, and the immortal laws on each of them continued to operate, catching all the attacks of Emperor Xuanming in an instant. 11 Shu Chengqing, each possessing 1/3 of the immortal law, easily suppressed everything of Emperor Xuanming. Of course, even if the 11 Shu Chengqings possess 1/3 of the immortal law, together they are no match for a true immortal. Incompleteness is incompleteness and cannot be made up by simple superposition. But now, under the true immortal, no one can stop Shu Chengqing. Emperor Qin saw the decline of Emperor Xuanming, and his true body appeared again, and the giant ape slammed into the place where Shu Chengqing was. The world shook again, and two powerful men who were about to become true immortals appeared together. But there are 11 Shu Chengqing on the opposite side. They waved their hands again, and Emperor Xuanming's body revealed endless lines of blood like chaff, and the laws of the great Tao on his body kept falling. If it weren't for his true immortal law that resisted most of the attacks, he would have died just now. As for Emperor Qin, his cultivation level is not as good as Emperor Xuanming. He was knocked back to his original form in just an instant, and some of the laws of the true immortal and even the laws of the world fell away. When they join forces, it is not Shu Chengqing's combined strength. Shu Chengqing stepped on Emperor Xuanming's head. Everyone who survived looked at Shu Chengqing in fear, with horror in their eyes. I said, I will make you into the emperor's puppet of my original great world, and you will surrender to my original holy land for generations to come. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe my channel.